are 17-4 in their last 21 road games. They were 5-0 as the visitors last year. Midwestern State is 9-9 at home over the last 3 seasons, going 3-3 in each of those campaigns, including last year. They won their last game here at Memorial Stadium in the season finale as they whipped Western New Mexico 52-24 with a second-half explosion in that game. The 7th-ranked Mountaineers making their first road trip of the season. The Mountaineers wearing the white jerseys tonight, while Midwestern State is in maroon. The Mustangs with maroon jerseys, gold sleeves, gold pants, gold helmets. All white uniforms with bright red numbers for Western Colorado wearing the silver helmets. Western Colorado won the opening coin toss and deferred. So the decision belongs to Midwestern State. The wind's not going to be much of a factor here tonight. Midwestern State wants the football, so we'll get a chance to see the Midwestern State offense on the field as we get week 2 underway here in Wichita Falls. And the mild summer has been a blessing for the Mustangs. They're going to play this game, the opening game of the season, the home opener for Midwestern State is going to be played in 78-degree weather under sunny skies. I'm willing to bet they haven't had this kind of weather for a home opener in years. Usually we're cooking in the 90s at least, if not pushing 100 this time of the year. So it's a really nice night out here. It's a good night for football, but aren't they all? The field pretty much encased in shadow as we get underway. It's a 7 o'clock start. I'm pretty sure this is the only 7 o'clock start this season. I think the other night games are going to start at 6, and there's an afternoon game here at the end of the year. So the Mustangs come out onto the field off the sideline on the west side of the stadium. Western Colorado on the field. They're occupying the east sideline, and they brought some fans from Western Colorado. They're still bathed in sunshine on that side of the field. Devontae Green and Sadanye Lott are back deep returning for Midwestern State. Zach Grable kicks off for Western Colorado. It's an end-over-end kick fielded inside the 5-yard line, returned out across the 15, and Midwestern State is going to start at the 17-yard line. Not a great return for Midwestern State. It was Jalen Broadus who brought it out. The sophomore stopped at the 17-yard line. They'll put the nose of the football at the Mustang 18 on the left hash mark. And we'll get our first look at Jacoby Longino playing here in Wichita Falls. Longino, a 6'3 senior out of Houston. Transfer from Lamar, takes the snap, runs play action, and completes the pass out to the right side. Connor Dunphy, the 5'10 freshman from the Woodlands, makes the catch and scampers out of bounds at the 28-yard line, picking up first down yardage. Not as fancy as a 75-yard flea flicker, but a pretty good start. Longino's got pressure, and he's going to be sacked. Coming around the end and getting a clean hit on Longino was Ricky Freeman, a 6'5", 265-pound senior, third-year letterman. So a 6-yard loss makes it second down and 16. Midwestern State going with the ground game. D.T. McCoy has no place to go. Gets knocked around. He's a 5'10", 180-pound junior out of Hollywood, Florida. Football at the 21-yard line. The line to reach is the 38. A 1-yard loss on the running play. Midwestern State facing 3rd and long with 13:49 to play in the first quarter. No score. Mustangs put 3 receivers to the wide side of the formation with 1 receiver split left. The pocket collapsing on Longino, and this time he's dropped in the backfield, sacked for the second time. Mikey Smith got to him, a 280-pound freshman out of Colorado Springs. So Freeman and Smith sacking Longino in Midwestern State's in a world of hurt here. 4th and 38, and for the first time this season, Midwestern State will be punting. Carlson handling the punting chores, and it's at the 21-yard line as it was partially blocked. Western Colorado overwhelming the Midwestern State front line. So great field position for Western Colorado. 12:53 to play in the first quarter as the Mountaineers take over offensively. Cameron DeVault, Palumi, Alani Pacoon, Dalen Owens, and Quincy Montgomery up front for Midwestern State. Drew Nash is the quarterback for Western Colorado. Isaiah Jones is the running back to his right. He's also got a running back lined up to his left. That's Caden Meisner. Meisner moves to the slot on the left side as a whistle stops play. A delay of game penalty called against Western Colorado will move them back 5 yards. Zach Broomfield, Chance Whining, Luke Hill, Taylor Nichols, and Kason James, the offensive line left to right. Kai Getz is the tight end. Passing on 1st and 15, and the pass is complete out to the 20-yard line. But Ramon Ruiz is immediately surrounded by a Stang gang, and Quincy Montgomery is in on the tackle for Midwestern State in front of the Mountaineer bench. It's a gain of only 1 yard. Or pardon me, a little better gain than that. It's a 6-yard pickup after the penalty. 2nd down and 9. 1 receiver right, 2 receivers to the left. Play action pass. Little tunnel screen, and once again the catch is made by Ruiz, who accelerates and gets close to first down yardage. He's going to be stopped just short of a first down. 3rd and 2 for Western Colorado. So the football at the 13-yard line on the left hash mark with 3 receivers to the wide side of the formation. Nash gets a chest-high snap. He calls his own number, picks up first down yardage, and then burrows his way forward to the 5-yard line where it's 1st and goal to go for Western Colorado. A little more than 11 minutes to play here in the opening period. First possession of the game for Western Colorado. White blocked the punt. It was a 12-yard punt, setting up the Mountaineers at the 21, and they've now gone 20 yards. They run up the middle, and carrying the football for Western Colorado is Gabe Schubart, the 6'2", 195-pound sophomore. He's inside the 1-yard line. And from there, it's 2nd and goal to go. Wing on the left, two tight ends on the left side of the formation, one to the right, two receivers right. Now they bring one of the tight ends in motion left to right. He lines up as an H-back. It's a fake toss. Nash carries, stretches, and gets across the goal line as Western Colorado goes in front, 6-0. So Western Colorado only needed to go 21 yards on their opening possession after White blocked the punt. They run 5 plays in 2:51. Nash with a 1-yard run. And now Western Colorado's ready to kick the extra point. The kick is up and good for Tassi. So with 10:02 to play in the first quarter, Western Colorado takes advantage of good field position after a blocked punt, and they lead Midwestern State 7-0 on FloCollege. Western Colorado leading at Midwestern State 7-0 in the home opener, the final non-conference game for Midwestern State. Mustangs losing 6 yards on their opening drive and then getting a punt block, so it couldn't have been much of a worse start for the Mustangs. Nash scores on a keeper, capping a 5-play drive that only took 2:51 off the clock. Western Colorado had the football for 40 minutes against West Texas A&M last week. And DeMonte Green will let the kick go into the end zone. It bounces in play at about the 2-yard line. Green lets it go, and Midwestern State will start this drive at the 25. They started their first drive at the 18. So the Mustangs facing a little bit of adversity here early on as Jacoby Longino brings the offense out on the field. Longino hands off, and Western Colorado is overwhelming the Midwestern State defensive line. The ball handed off, and there's no place for McCoy to go. McCoy is met in the backfield by a group of Mountaineers who came in a bad mood. 7-0 Western Colorado, 9:35 to play. And Midwestern State struggling offensively here. Western with a 3-man front. Now the linebackers creep up toward the line of scrimmage. Longino calling the play out of the shotgun. Moves McCoy to his left. The left-handed quarterback drops back, eludes pressure, tucks the ball away, and he's out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Offense going backwards from the south end of the field. They're supposed to be moving to the north. They're going further south. Three receivers out to the wide side of the field. One to the boundary short side left. 3rd down and 17. Mustangs at their own 17-yard line. Longino throwing deep down the left side. And the pass is broken up. Excellent coverage on the play. Applied by Ramon Pacheco, a 5'10 redshirt freshman. The intended receiver for Midwestern State was Malachi Matthews, who's a 6'5 junior from Lansing, Michigan. And for a moment, it looked like he had a step on his man. But the pass from Longino broken up going down the left boundary, close to the 40-yard line. And now Midwestern State will try once again to punt. The first one was blocked and only went a few yards. Now it's a low snap. More trouble on special teams for Midwestern State. Joseph Carlson goes down at the 5-yard line. Rich Lerner told us in the podcast before the Missouri Southern game that he was concerned about the punting game. Well, Midwestern State got away with it last week because they didn't have to punt. But the punting woes have now put Midwestern State in the soup with 9:03 to play. Western Colorado, which started its last drive at the 21, starts this drive, 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Nash at quarterback for Western Colorado. Nash scored on a 1-yard touchdown run to cap the last drive. Hands off. And Midwestern State having a tough time bringing down the running back as he barges up the middle. Kept out of the end zone, but gets down to the 1-yard line. It's the 5'10", 215-pound sophomore from Colorado Springs, Isaiah Jones. Jones takes another handoff, and this time he's into the end zone standing up, and Western Colorado has a 13-0 lead with 8:36 to play. It's a nightmare start for Midwestern State. Trailing 13-0 with 8:36 to play, and Tessie is on to try the extra point for Western Colorado. Out of the hold of Noah McCullough. Aaron Perry delivers the snap. The kick is up. The kick is good. And Western Colorado has not allowed Midwestern State to move the ball. The Mustangs have lost 26 yards. They've rushed for minus 36. They've had a blocked punt and a poor snap on a punt as Carlson was tackled at the 5-yard line, not able to get the punt off. And that's a 2-play, 5-yard scoring drive for Western Colorado. They now lead at Midwestern State 14-0. This is the home opener for the Mustangs on FloCollege.
On return for the Mustangs, number 3, Demonte Green, Mustangs, starts. Drive number 3 from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Demonte Green takes the kickoff and gets the return out to the 20-yard line. Midwestern State trailing Western Colorado 14-0. Has been outgained 31 to -26 here in the first quarter, which has 8.5 minutes remaining. DeMonte Green with a 10-yard return. And Midwestern State with a running play and carrying it to the right side for the Mustangs. He was effective last week running the football, and Ryan Svirginski, 6 foot, 210-pound redshirt freshman out of Munster, picks up 6 yards, 2nd down and 4. Longino fires right and completes the pass out to the 32-yard line. Green makes the catch and then gets tackled by William Guyman out of Eagle, Colorado, right along the boundary. Football at the 32. Svirginski takes another handoff, but flags fly and a false start stops the play before it unfolds, as Midwestern State was playing up tempo, but somebody was in a little bit too much of a hurry. Not all the players were set, so with 7:58 to play in the first quarter, trailing 14-0, it's a 5-yard penalty assessed to Midwestern State, and they move back to their own 27-yard line. Connor Dunphy is split out to the left side of the formation. They'll line one receiver behind the other. Peacock is in front of Dunphy. One receiver split out wide to the right side. They shift the tight end from the right to the left side. That's Landon Thomason. Longino's in trouble again. He gets wrapped around the waist and spun to the ground by Will Guyman.
On the sack, Mountaineers, number 42, Will Guyman.
The line of scrimmage is the 22, and Midwestern State now faces 2nd down and 20. 2 receivers to the left, a wing on the right, 1 receiver split wide right. Longino throws for Green at the original line of scrimmage. The pass is incomplete. Covering on the play for Western Colorado was Isaiah Jones. Or pardon me, not Isaiah Jones, rather Joey Fox, the 6-foot sophomore out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Western Colorado shows blitz but backs up. Midwestern State looking at 3rd down and 20. Here comes the pressure. Longino gets rid of it, throws it deep down the left side, and the pass incomplete. Looking for Peacock. Overthrown. There was a little hand fighting with Peacock and Pacheco. No flag thrown. And with 6:56 to play in the first quarter, there's no choice. It's 4th and 20. Midwestern State will have to attempt to punt. And this has been brutal tonight. The biggest reason they're behind 14-0 is their failure to execute the punt. This time the punt is away. It's a good high punt, good hang time, and Western Colorado unable to get much of a return as the punt is fielded by Antoine Jackson, the junior from St. Louis, Missouri. Somewhat surprising he didn't call for a fair catch. Takes a step and gets tackled, and this is the worst starting field position for Western Colorado by far, but it's still pretty good field position. They're at their own 45-yard line with 6:47 to play. We're in the first quarter. Western Colorado with a 14-0 lead. Midwestern State still with minus 19 yards of offense following that 5-play, 2-yard drive that took 1:43 off the clock. Longino was 1 for 3 passing, and they ran one time for 6 yards. A penalty really hurt them, that false start penalty. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but Midwestern State was playing with a little tempo, had some success on 2 plays, and then the false start penalty, and after that everything went south, literally and figuratively, as Midwestern State moves, at least theoretically, they move south to north here at Memorial Stadium tonight. But it hasn't really worked out that way with minus 19 yards of total offense in the first quarter. This is where stats are misleading, because if you look at just total yards, you see Western Colorado 31 total yards. Well, that's 2 scoring drives. They started at the 21 and the 5. Nash is 2 of 2 passing for 13 yards. He's run twice for 9 yards, including a 1-yard touchdown run. Jones ran twice for 5 yards and scored the second touchdown. For Midwestern State, Longino's 2 for 5 for 16 yards, but McCoy's got 2 carries for minus 6. Coulter's got a 6-yard gain. Midwestern State losing 1.5 yards per play. Western Colorado gaining nearly 4.5 yards per play. Midwestern State down 14-0. It's still fairly early, 6:47 to play in the first quarter. Things can turn around, but it's an awful start for Midwestern State. The quarterback is Drew Nash, a 6'2 senior from Torrance, California, calling for a shotgun snap. Gets it belt high, swings a pass out to the right side, and Ramon Ruiz has been his favorite receiver tonight. Ruiz has blocking in front of him as he moves up the right side to the Midwestern State 45, picking up a first down. A 10-yard gain on the completion to Ruiz. That's the 3rd time tonight that Ruiz has been targeted. Running backs on either side of Nash, who has 2 receivers to the left, a tight end on the right side of the formation. Midwestern State with 4 down linemen. A running play right up the middle, and immediately into the secondary goes Isaiah Jones. He tumbles down on the turf of Joe Golding Field at the 30-yard line of Midwestern State. A 15-yard gain, another first down for Western Colorado. DJ Allen is the receiver, split to the right side of the formation. Ruiz to the left side. Colorado will put a receiver in the slot on the left side. That's Perez, a 5'11 sophomore from Elbert, Colorado. 2 receivers on each side with 1 running back. Nash gets rid of the pass quickly and completes it out to the left side. It's another first down. Cade Lee is there to make the tackle as the catch is made along the boundary in front of the Midwestern State bench by Perez. It's another first down. The football at the 20-yard line of Midwestern State.
First down and 10 for the Mustangs 20.
Western Colorado already with 4 first downs. Now 66 yards of total offense. Nash 3 for 3 for 23 yards passing. 3 receivers to the wide side. It's a toss right. And out to the 12-yard line is Caden Meisner, the junior running back. It's tackled by Akil Edwards, the junior cornerback from Vallejo, California, after a gain of 8 yards. 2nd down and 2 for the Mountaineers. It's 2025, and there's a lot of fancy things about football. The game's still won in the trenches, and Western Colorado is winning that battle decisively tonight here in the first quarter. Nash gives to Jones, trying to run up the middle. It's a little clogged up, but Jones keeps churning those legs. He's going to be stopped just shy of the 10-yard line. He's close to a first down, but it's not enough. 3rd and inches coming up here for Western Colorado. Less than 4 minutes to play in the first quarter, which the Mountaineers have dominated. Tight end lines up on the left side. That's Cooper Crawford. Receiver split to each side. Tight end also on the right. Jones stumbles taking the handoff, but trips over the line of scrimmage and surges forward, picking up a first down. They're going to say he's down right at the 10-yard line, but that's all he needed for a first down.
Signal is first down and goal.
So it's first and goal to go for the Western Colorado Mountaineers. Jones picking up just 1 yard, but only needed a half yard to get the 4th first down of the game for Western Colorado. Allen, receiver on the right side, 2 receivers to the left. Now Allen goes in motion, runs behind Nash and receives a swing pass out on the left side. Gets a good block out in front. Throwing that block was Miesner, and Allen gets spun out of bounds at the 5-yard line. 2:42 to play the first quarter. Western Colorado at the 5-yard line. It's going to be up to the defense to make a big play here to stop the bleeding. Western Colorado's been gashing the Mustangs throughout this first quarter. Already up 14-0, 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line. Nash will run it himself. He'll carry a tackler down to about the 3-yard line. He gave Cameron DeVault a little bit of a ride. DeVault's a 6'3", 245-pound senior out of Friendswood. He went for a little bit of a ride on the back of Nash. It's 3rd and goal. Western Colorado probably will run 2 plays here. Midwestern State making wholesale changes on defense. Making a late change. Coming on late is Charles McKnight, the junior from Cyprus. But the Mustangs are ready. However, maybe they weren't, because it's Midwestern State that called timeout with 1:28 to play in the first quarter. Would imagine Rich Renner is livid right now down on that sideline with the way this game has started for Midwestern State. Right now, Renner in a conversation with Akeel Edwards. Nothing has gone well for Midwestern State. They're losing in all 3 phases of this game. Offense, defense, and special teams. And they're about to be down 3 scores. Western Colorado's got a 14-0 lead. They're on the precipice of scoring their 3rd touchdown. Midwestern State had to take a timeout prior to this play. Nash has Jones behind him with 3 receivers right and 1 left. Spread out from the 3-yard line. On 3rd and goal, Nash fires to the back of the end zone. The receiver is wide open. Making the catch under the crossbar is Miesner, the 6', 195-pound junior from Greeley, Colorado. And the Mountaineers are just toying with the Mustangs. 20-0. This is the 7th-ranked team in the nation. They're slicing and dicing Midwestern State. They go 55 yards in 9 plays, take 5:22 off the clock. Miesner catches the touchdown pass from Nash, a 3-yard strike to complete the drive. And now the extra point is added. And Midwestern State is facing a 21-0 deficit with 1:25 to play in the first quarter. It's their home opener on FloCollege.
If you chose gold, congratulations, you chose correctly.
Midwestern State down 21-0. Western Colorado has taken advantage of great field position and scored on all 3 drives. And the kickoff's going to go out of bounds. That had Phil Mickelson-like backspin, and Midwestern State is lucky it went out of bounds. DeMonte Green assumed that ball was going to go into the end zone. You know what happens when you assume. The ball checked up and started rolling back, but fortunately for Green, it didn't stay on the field of play because that would have been a live ball. And the way things are going for Midwestern State, they're lucky Western Colorado didn't recover it and have it 1st and goal to go. Instead, it goes out of bounds. The Mustangs get a break and have their best starting field position at their own 35-yard line, and they need to start moving the football. They have not done that against this Western Colorado defense. They've lost 19 yards. They've run 13 plays so far. The 14th play doesn't look very promising. Coming out to the left and sliding down shy of the 40-yard line, but picking up 3 yards from Midwestern State is Swerczynski. Quick pass out to the right side. That's caught. That's a nice catch by Matthews, who turns toward the boundary and goes out of bounds near the 50-yard line, stepping out at the 47. But it's a first down from Midwestern State, so they're moving and going up tempo. Swing it out to the left side. That's going to be a false start. Midwestern State was in an odd formation there. The center and 2 guards were obviously close to the football, but the tackles were not. They were split out. And Midwestern State may have gotten too cute by half there as the football gets moved back to the 42-yard line. They trail 21-0, and the Mustangs look at 1st and 15 from their own 42. It was a false start penalty that stifled the last drive. Longino gets a belt-high snap, hands off to Swerczynski, who gets knocked forward to the 49-yard line. Making the tackle for Western Colorado, Ernesto Lopez, a 6', 260-pound junior out of Carbondale, Colorado. Longino with a belt-high snap, drops back to pass, steps up in the pocket. He'll take off and run. He gets into Western Colorado territory, so Midwestern State, for the first time, has ventured in to Mountaineer country. But they're going to face 3rd down and about 5 from the Western Colorado 48. The second quarter will begin. It'll be the first time that Midwestern State has snapped the ball outside of Mustangs country. The second quarter is coming up next on FloCollege.
You'll receive the expert care you need when you need us. Simply walk in or schedule an appointment through MyChart. Located inside the Center for Advanced Orthopedics, Orthopedics Express is your fast track to orthopedic care.
Catch all Midwestern State games on FloCollege, the exclusive broadcast home of the Lone Star Conference. Subscribe now and save. Pay $19.99 a month or $107.88 to the pay per year. Or pay just $9.99 a month for $71.88 a year when using a .edu email address. As part of the subscription, fans receive access to all the Lone Star Conference and to all other institutions on FloCollege. That's FloCollege, the exclusive broadcast home of the Lone Star Conference and your Midwestern State University Mustangs.
Midwestern State begins the second quarter facing a 21-0 deficit against visiting Western Colorado. Western Colorado taking advantage of great field positions and poor special teams play by Midwestern State has hurt the Mustangs, but they start the second quarter in Western Colorado territory, and Longino's under pressure rolling left. The southpaw quarterback will run up the sideline and get out of bounds after picking up first down yardage at the Western Colorado 43-yard line. So the Mustangs are into plus territory in total yards now. 1st and 10. Longino back to pass. The lefty throwing deep down the left side. Has a man. Nice catch made along the boundary on the right side inside the 10-yard line. Thrown to the back shoulder of Jamarian Carroll, a 6'2", 190-pound sophomore from here in Wichita Falls. And Midwestern State trying to flip the story here in the second quarter. They've got it 1st and goal to go. Trailing 21-0 with 14:20 to play in the half. Svirginski stays in as the running back. There's 2 receivers to the right side of the formation, including Carroll. Sadea Lott is also lined up on the right side, going in motion to the left. They run a jet sweep to Lott, turns upfield, gets tackled near the 6-yard line.
Down to the 6-yard line, number 87.
Lott had a pretty good game last week. Unfortunately, we weren't able to identify him. We did not have him listed as number 87 last week, but we've got his name and number now. Second and goal from the 6-yard line. 3 receivers right, 1 receiver, Matthews, to the boundary short side left. Kelby Hickerson goes in motion right to left. Svirginski takes the handoff and immediately gets wrapped up, and making the tackle for Western Colorado was the 6'5", 265-pound junior from Chino, California, Ricky Freeman. 12:46 to play. We're in the second quarter. Midwestern State trying to get on the board, down 21-0. 3rd down and goal to go from the 8-yard line. Svirginski, the running back. 1 receiver split to the right side. 3 receivers bunch left. Svirginski takes the handoff, has an opening up the middle, and gets to the 4-yard line. That's as much daylight as Svirginski has seen tonight. It closed up pretty quickly. Cameron Cooper got there to make the tackle. The sophomore out of Gilbert, Arizona, makes the tackle. And with 12:12 to play in the second quarter, Midwestern State has it 4th and goal to go, down 21-0 inside the 5. You're not going to do anything kicking field goals in this game. They got to go for it. Flags fly. Longino gets the snap, throws into the end zone, incomplete. The pass is broken up by Drea Thompson. Hickerson was the intended receiver in the middle of the end zone. We'll check the penalties. It is offsides against Western Colorado. Now there's another break for Midwestern State. The drive started with a break when the kickoff went out of bounds. They get another break here because that play was well defended by Western Colorado, but the Mountaineers are called offsides. Carroll is the receiver to the right side of the formation. 2 receivers left. Svirginski, the running back. Lott comes in motion. There's the pitch to Svirginski, who fumbled it. Grabbed it at the 1-yard line and scooted on his rear end out of bounds. That would have been a touchdown if Svirginski could have caught that toss cleanly. Instead, Midwestern State fails to score on 4th and goal, and Western Colorado will take over at the 2-yard line. Western Colorado brings the offense on the field. Midwestern State with its most impressive drive. They went 66 yards, 63 yards, running 10 plays in 4:37. Nothing to show for it. Western Colorado has poor field position for the first time tonight. Starting at its own 2-yard line, Nash gets a shotgun snap. He could be in trouble. He'll throw out of the end zone, incomplete. Defending over there from Midwestern State was C.J. Anderson, who reached up but couldn't get high enough up on the ladder to intercept the pass, as Nash just throws it away, feeling the pressure and not wanting to take a safety. So 2nd down and 10 for Western Colorado with the football at the 2-yard line. Nash may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He's got a wing on the left, one receiver split to either side. Handing the football off to Jones, who runs up the middle and carries it out to the 9-yard line. So it's about a 7-yard gain, setting up 3rd down and 3 for Western Colorado, which is 3 for 3 on 3rd down tonight. Western Colorado came in converting just 53% of the time on 3rd down. By the way, Mountaineer opponents are now 0 for 3 on 4th down after they forced Midwestern State to turn the ball over on downs deep in Western Colorado territory. The Mountaineers keep it on the ground and pick up 1st down yardage. Jones running right up the middle. There is a penalty marker down. Charles McKnight in on the tackle for Midwestern State, along with Noah Bustard. Holding called on Western Colorado. Western Colorado penalized for the 3rd time tonight. This one will move them back to the 5-yard line. Now facing 3rd down and 8. It's imperative that Midwestern State make a play and get the defense off the field here. Mustangs are trailing 21-0. The good news is there's still a lot of time, but in order to get back in this game, you got to make some plays. Mountaineers at their own 5. 3rd and 8. 2 receivers to the wide side, one to the boundary short side right. Nash pressured in the end zone, throws up a balloon that's intercepted! Intercepted at the 26-yard line. Amani Presley makes the play that the Mustangs needed. The sophomore from Sacramento. A gold nugget out of California makes the play for the Mustangs. 1st and 10, Midwestern State. At the 28-yard line in Western Colorado territory. The Mountaineers turn the ball over. Now it's up to the Mustangs to make them pay. Longino has a running back to his right. Green goes in motion right to left. Longino hesitates, now zigzags up the middle and gets to the 25-yard line before he gets buried by Ian Loomis, a 6'3", 230-pound junior out of Loveland, Colorado. A little more than 10 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter after Longino runs for 3. He's back to pass on 2nd and 7. Trying to avoid pressure, he rolls left, throws on the run back over the middle. A dangerous pass is knocked down as he was looking for D.T. McCoy down around the 5-yard line. The pass gets broken up. Midwestern State fortunate to still have the football, throwing back over the middle like that. Longino gets away with it. 3rd down and 8. The football at the 25-yard line. Dunphy and Green are the two receivers to the right side of the formation. Lots in a slot left. Now Green comes in motion. Longino back to pass. Flushed left. Throws incomplete. The nearest target was Lott, but he wasn't anywhere close enough to make a reception. It's incomplete as the ball bounces on the turf of Joe Golding Field right about the first down marker at the 18-yard line. And Midwestern State brings on the punting unit. No, I thought Carlson was coming in to punt. He's coming in to try a 42-yard field goal. This will be out of the hold of Carson Roper. Carlson missed an extra point last week. Strong-legged kicker, but this one gets blocked. So Midwestern State's been in the red zone. They were stopped on downs inside the 5. Got the interception. Amani Presley making a big play. Not able to move the ball. They line up to kick a field goal. It gets blocked. They spent all this time in the red zone with nothing to show for it. They're down 21-0 with 9:49 to play in the second quarter. And Western Colorado takes over at the 26-yard line. Nash looking toward the sideline. He's not sure about the personnel. They're a man short. You got a 21-0 lead. You don't need 11 out there. Play clock still has 8, so there's still plenty of time. Western Colorado is going to be dropped for a loss. Makai Prosper gets in the backfield, and he drags down the running back, Gabe Schubarth, a 6'2 sophomore. Loses 5 yards. It's second down and 15. Line of scrimmage is the Western Colorado 21-yard line. Nash sends a running back out of the backfield, motion to the right, the handoff, and the running back gets tripped up before reaching the 25-yard line. That's Jones, who tumbles to the turf. Might have been Alani Pekun who was in on the tackle. Alani Pekun coming out of the game now for Midwestern State with 8:47 to play. Clock rolling. Western Colorado leads 21-0. Third down and 12 for the Mountaineers. From their own 23, Nash throwing deep, has a man, and the catch is made at the Midwestern State 35-yard line. Hauling in the pass from Nash is Meisner. Meisner gets all the way to the Midwestern State 32. So it's another Western Colorado first down. Their 6th of the game.
Gain of 44 on the completion to the Mustangs 32-yard line.
First and 10 after the 44-yard pass to Meisner. Joe Hollis in coverage for Midwestern State, but he was beaten by Meisner. First and 10 Mountaineers. Nash throws, and that's short. It's a one-hopper into the hands of Antoine Jackson. Western Colorado's kind of an old-school football team. They huddle, take their time between plays. We mentioned at the top they had the football 40 minutes against West Texas A&M. And time of possession's been pretty equal, but it's a little bit misleading. Western Colorado's had a short field for the whole first quarter. run a counter play left, and Jones carries it to the 28-yard line.
Across the 30-yard line.
Running in the direction of Makai Prosper. Also in on that tackle was Ezra Davidson, the linebacker out of Killeen.
3rd down and 6.
Another 3rd down coming up for Western Colorado. They're 4 for 5 on 3rd down tonight. 7:15 to play. Second quarter at Memorial Stadium, home opener for the Mustangs. They're trailing the Mountaineers 21-0. 3 receivers to the wide side, 1 to the boundary short side left. Nash runs a quarterback draw and gets stuffed before he reaches the 25-yard line. 4th down coming up. Coming up at the bottom of that pile for Midwestern State is Bustard, the linebacker, the transfer from Nebraska, hails from Omaha. So here's 4th down.
4th down, Mustangs defense.
Western Colorado going for it on 4th down. Midwestern State has failed to convert twice on 4th down tonight. Western Colorado 1 for 3 this season on 4th down. Nash sacked by Bustard. Nash gets busted up by the Omaha native. So Midwestern State takes over, making a big play defensively to end the last couple of drives now. Midwestern State failed to capitalize on their foray into the red zone. They're down 21-0. They've been outgained 140 yards to 50. Longino's 5 of 10 for 60 yards. Nash 6 of 9 for 75 for Western Colorado. Midwestern State has struggled running the football. 16 carries for minus 10 yards. Coulter's had their longest run, a 7-yard gain.
Located inside the Center for Advanced Orthopedics, Orthopedics Express is a fast track to
6:14 to play in the second quarter. Midwestern State trailing Western Colorado 21-0. Midwestern State soccer team in action last night at Colorado Mesa. The men played to a 1-1 draw, and they're in action again tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock against Westminster. The women had a 2-0 lead in their season opener, also on the road as they visited Southern Nazarene. And Southern Nazarene came back in the final 18 minutes of that match to tie it up 2-2. And the Mustangs will visit Wichita Baptist tomorrow, play in Arkadelphia at Cluck Field with kickoff at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Midwestern State has it, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage is their own 33. Alaji takes the handoff, runs left, picks up maybe a yard. Play well read by Western Colorado. Making the tackle was Lopez, the junior out of Carbondale, Colorado. Alaji held to 1 yard, brings up 2nd down and 9. Alaji stays in at running back. Two receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Oh, a lot of running room for Alaji. He's into the secondary. Bounces off a tackle. Uses his hand to maintain his balance. And then goes down at the 45-yard line. First and 10, Midwestern State. Longino back to pass. Throws left. It's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Case Peacock. Midwestern State will have it 2nd down and 10. Kelby Hickerson will line up as a wing on the left. Dunphy and Carroll are the two receivers to the right side of the formation. It's a three-man front for Western Colorado. 5:18 to play in the second quarter. Mountaineers leading 21-0. Elijah takes the handoff, spins off a tackle, lunges forward, gets to the 46. Picks up almost 2 yards. Second down and 8 coming up for Midwestern State. Clock running, 5 minutes to play in the half. First quarter was a disaster for the Mustangs. They're down 21-0. They've started to come to life here in the second quarter, but they need some points to show for it. Elijah in the backfield to the left of Longino, who has two receivers slanked to either side of the formation. It's a 5-man front for Western Colorado. Play clock is down to 5 seconds. Longino gets the snap. The southpaw quarterback throws incomplete. The pass broken up, intended for Jermaine Carroll. There defensively was Jordan Glaze, 5'10 sophomore, breaks up the pass. Glaze out of El Cajon, California. Well, Midwestern State has to punt now, and this has not gone well for the Mustangs tonight. They've had one blocked, and they had a rancid snap. They gave the ball to Western Colorado, first and goal at the 5. Carroll did get a punt off the last time. Gets this punt off, and it's a dandy. It's a high punt, fielded inside the 15. Returned up the middle, only to the 20-yard line. Returning the punt for Western Colorado is Antoine Jackson. So Western Colorado takes over with 4:21 to play.
Great coverage. Number 48, Colin Haynes.
So first and 10, Western Colorado starting the drive at their own 21-yard line after Carlson's 41-yard punt. Western Colorado leads Midwestern State 21-0 on FloCollege.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just over 4 minutes away from an exciting halftime performance for your Midwestern State University Golden Thunder Band under the direction of the Dr. Matt Latrell.
Midwestern State in its home opener at Memorial Stadium trails Western Colorado 21-0 with 4:21 to play in the second quarter. Western Colorado will begin this drive from its own 21-yard line. Midwestern State ran 5 plays and went 13 yards in a minute 53 in their last drive. Longino with 2 incomplete passes. Good news is it looks like maybe the Mustangs have cleaned up special teams a little bit, and they have been able to punt the last 2 times. Their inability to execute the punt cost them 14 points in the first quarter, and they're down 21-0. First and 10, Mountaineers at their own 21-yard line. The quarterback is Drew Nash. Gets a chest-high snap, runs play action, rolls left, and throws over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Meisner. He had put the ball in the belly of the running back, Gabe Schubarth, pulled it out, shuffled off to the left side and fired, but it was an uncatchable pass and fell incomplete over the middle. There's 4:16 to play with the clock stopped here in the second quarter after the incomplete pass. Second down and 10 for Western Colorado at its own 21-yard line. A wing on the right, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the boundary short side right. Midwestern State with 4 down linemen. Nash takes it away from the running back, keeps it himself. It may have been a poor decision. They tackle the guy with the football, and Nash gets Stain Gang tackled at the line of scrimmage. Somehow he's able to muscle his way forward for maybe a gain of a yard. Less than 4 minutes to play. We're in the second quarter with Western Colorado on top, 21-0. They've got it 3rd down and 9 with the football at their own 21. Western Colorado 4 for 6 on 3rd down tonight. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Midwestern State showing blitz. Nash gets the snap. Mustangs rush 3. Nash with a pump fake and a run, and he's got a first down. Hit hard right as he got to the marker, but he stayed on his feet as he goes out of bounds. Nash is a pretty big quarterback, 6'2", 215, pretty well built. Took a hit there, and it didn't flinch. It was Akeel Edwards who bounced off Nash. Nash picking up just enough for the first down, getting to the 31-yard line. President Stacey Haney will be joining us at halftime. Kind of a tradition to have the school president on in the first game at halftime. Hopefully the Mustangs won't be down 21-0 when she takes the air. 2:58 to play. Western Colorado running on first down. Not much running room behind the right side of that line. Midwestern State doing a better job stopping the run here as they bury the running back, Mason Claunch, 5'10" sophomore, transferred from Colorado Mesa. 2nd down and 9 with the football at the 32. 2:27 to play in the second quarter. Mountaineers with 2 receivers to the left, a running back on either side of Nash, a tight end on the right side. Jones comes in motion to the left out of the backfield, the handoff up the middle, and not much running room. Mustangs are clamping down on the running game now, and that's good to see. Missouri Southern ran the ball right down the throat of Midwestern State. It looked like Western Colorado might do the same thing tonight. Isaiah Jones, though, is stopped after a short gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. They've already converted 1 3rd and long on this drive, and we've reached the 2-minute timeout at Memorial Stadium. Western Colorado has it 3rd down and 7 with the football at its own 34-yard line, leading 21-0. The conclusion of the first half is coming up next on FloCollege.
As they begin to line up in the second zone.
With 2 minutes to play in the second quarter, Western Colorado leads Midwestern State 21-0. Midwestern State volleyball team off to a great start, hosting the Midwestern State Invitational and winning all 3 matches, beating Southeastern Oklahoma, William Jewell, and Newman. They beat Newman today 3-1 after sweeping William Jewell and Southeastern Colorado in the first 2 days of the Midwestern State Invitational. Midwestern State football team is trailing 21-0. Western Colorado has the football at its own 34-yard line, leading 21-0. Nash is back to pass. Runs out of time, but dumps the pass off, completes the pass, and a nice open field tackle brings down Mason Claunch. Had his feet cut out from underneath him by Akeel Edwards, who was diving at his shoestrings. Western Colorado is going to have it 4th and a yard at the 40-yard line. Timeout taken here with 1:47 to play. Western Colorado has outgained Midwestern State 159 yards to 63. They've thrown for 81 as Nash has completed 7 of his 11 passes. Longino is 5 of 12 for 60 yards for Midwestern State. Mustangs have struggled to run the football. They've got only 3 yards on their 19 carries. Longino has completed passes to 5 different receivers tonight: Carroll, Dunphy, Matthews, Green, and Lott. Carroll caught a 35-yard pass. Dunphy caught a 10-yard strike. Matthews has a catch for 8 yards. Green with a 6-yard reception. Lott caught a pass for 1 yard. The 7th play of this drive coming up for Western Colorado. They've moved 19 yards. They have it 4th and 1, and they've decided to punt. They will punt for the first time tonight. DeMonte Green gets to it at the 20-yard line, coming right, tripped up as he crosses the 25-yard line. Getting down on special teams to make that tackle was Drea Thompson, who's a junior out of Denver. So 1:39 remaining. The football is at the Midwestern State 29-yard line. Mustangs with 63 yards of total offense, 60 of those yards coming through the air. Coulter is the running back to the right of Longino, who's got Green in a slot on the left side and a receiver split out to the right. Hickerson is the wing on the right side. 3 down linemen for Western Colorado. Longino with a little bit of time fires out right to Elijah. He sheds tackles and gets to the 32-yard line. It's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Midwestern State. Longino backpedals, 3-step drop, flushed out of the pocket, running left. He's going to be dropped for a sack. Getting to the Midwestern State quarterback is Ian Loomis, a 6'3", 230-pound junior out of Loveland, Colorado. Brings Longino down behind the line of scrimmage. Western Colorado thinks they might get the ball back, and they've taken a timeout. That is the 5th sack of the game already for Western Colorado. And now Midwestern State is facing 3rd and 16, and the Mustangs are just 1 of 7 on 3rd down tonight. They've been outgained 159 yards to 57. Western Colorado taking advantage of some special team miscues to take a 21-0 lead in the first quarter. We've had a scoreless second quarter. 1:10 remaining in the half. Midwestern State looking at 3rd and 17. Longino is 6 of 13 for 63 yards. You'll have Green in a slot on the right side. Carroll split out wide to the boundary, and Green is shifted to the slot to the left side, the short side of the field for Midwestern State. Malachi Matthews is the receiver closest to the boundary on the left side of the formation. A running back to the right of Longino. Ledette delivers a chest-high snap. Longino back to pass, brushes off one would-be sack, and then throws the ball away. So it's going to be 4th down and 17 for Midwestern State. And nervously, the punting unit comes out on the field. Now, they've had 2 successful punts here, but it was a disastrous start. First punt got blocked. A second attempt to punt resulted in a poor snap, and Coulter was tackled at his own 5-yard line. He's going to be taking this snap back at his own 9-yard line for Midwestern State. Colin Haynes is the deep snapper, and he's only had a few miscues in his career. This is a beautiful punt for Coulter. That thing turned over nicely, and it's going to take a Midwestern State bounce down to the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 11. Coulter flips the field with a tremendous punt. Western Colorado's taking over with 53 seconds to play. They start this drive at their own 11-yard line, and the Midwestern State defense has been a little stingier here as we've gotten into the second quarter. "66-yard punt for Joseph Carlson. 53 seconds to play. 3 receivers to the wide side left, 1 receiver to the boundary short side right. Nash in a shotgun has a running back to his left. Mustangs with 4 down linemen. Nash with 11 seconds on the play clock. Gets a chest high snap, drops back to pass, throws deep down the right side. Caught between 2 Midwestern State defenders. The pass was caught but then stripped away, and it's an incomplete pass. Ruiz had it in his hands, but the Mustang defender did not give up and knocked the ball out of his hands as he was going to the ground. 44 seconds to play. The second quarter winding down in the home opener at Memorial Stadium. Western Colorado, the number 7 team in the country in Division II, leading 21-0. They've got it 2nd and 10 at their own 11-yard line. Nash is now 7 of 12 passing for 81 yards. Hands off, running room right up the middle of the field, all the way out to the 25-yard line. The tackle made by Jylan Spence, a senior from Boston, Massachusetts. And Western Colorado trying to pick up the tempo, but they're called for a false start. We saw the same thing happen twice to Midwestern State earlier tonight, where they try to play up-tempo and get called for a false start. This 5-yard penalty will move the football back to the Western Colorado 20-yard line. Maybe slow the Mountaineers down just a bit after Schubarth had a 14-yard run. The false start penalty puts the football back at the 20. 20 seconds remaining.
10-second runoff. Game clock now at 20 seconds. 1st and 15 from the 25 for the Mountaineers.
So Western Colorado at its own 20-yard line, 1st and 15. There would have been a 10-second runoff for Western Colorado, but they've got 2 timeouts remaining. They'll take one of those timeouts to avoid the 10-second runoff. They'll have the football at the 20-yard line. James was guilty of the false start. So there's 30 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Midwestern State President Stacey Haney coming up at halftime. We'll be grilling the school president at halftime. We've got some tough questions. She better be prepared. This is no nonsense when you show up opening week of the Midwestern State football season. Probably too much nonsense, actually. 21-0, Western Colorado. They've taken advantage of some Midwestern State miscues. Nash has completed 7 of 12 passes. They had a really balanced attack as they beat West Texas last week, and they're once again showing the ability to both run and pass. They've rushed for 92 yards and thrown for 81. 5 different receivers have caught passes. Meisner and Ruiz have both caught 2 passes. Perez, Claunch, and Allen have each caught a pass. Meisner 2 catches for 47 yards, a 44-yard reception. That's the longest play from scrimmage tonight. He's been targeted 3 times. Ruiz has been targeted 4 times.
If you're missing a BMW key fob, it's up here in the press box.
So add to the timeout. Western Colorado with 30 seconds to play has it at the 20-yard line. 3 receivers to the wide side and 1 receiver to the boundary short side right. It's a 5-man front for Midwestern State. Nash, with happy feet, dumps the pass over the middle. It's caught at the line of scrimmage. The tackle is made immediately. Making the catch for Western Colorado out of the backfield is the running back, Gabe Schubarth, the sophomore. Another player out of Colorado, but not much of a gain. A couple of yards. Call it 2nd down and 13. Schubarth was brought down by Ezra Davidson after a 2-yard gain. There will be a 10-second runoff here, down to 9 seconds now. Center judge not ready for play to resume just yet.
2nd down, 13, Mountaineers, 9 seconds to play.
Nash has 3 receivers left, a running back to the left. It looked like there might be running room up the middle for Schubarth, but the hole closed quickly, and he only picked up a yard or 2 on the final play of the first half. And Western Colorado scored 21 first-quarter points, nothing after that, but Midwestern State not able to cut into the deficit. So at halftime, it's 7th-ranked Western Colorado 21, Midwestern State nothing. We'll visit with Midwestern State President Stacy Haney at the half. Stay with us on FloCollege.
First thing, we've been working with families and local businesses to help achieve their goals for generations. Our customers always come first, and that's why they choose us as their local brand. Investment, experience, and here to stay. First thing, your goals, our goals.
There's a little piece of North Texas that we've chosen as our own. We love it for all different reasons. But in the end, for most of us, it comes down to the people. American National Bank. Trust, it's our life's work.
Orthopedics Express. Our primary focus is delivering exceptional care to patients with orthopedic injuries such as sprains, strains, broken bones, and joint pain. You'll receive the expert care you need when you need it most. Simply walk in or schedule an appointment through MyChart. Located inside the Center for Advanced Orthopedics, Orthopedics Express is your fast track to orthopedic care.
We're back at Memorial Stadium. It's the home opener for Midwestern State. We're pleased to be joined by Midwestern State President Stacy Haney. It's kind of become a tradition on the Midwestern State broadcast to visit with the school president in the home opener, and we're glad that President Haney's come up. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's so great to see you, Pete. See you behind the microphone here.
There's no place I'd rather be, as you well know.
We're lucky for that.
Let me just start off with the big news that came out just as school started again, and that was about the acquisition of the Sykes Center Mall and Midwestern State's involvement, and a new football stadium could be on the horizon for Midwestern State.
We are really excited. You're absolutely right that this is a community on the go, a university on the go, and we are really looking forward to what's ahead. You mentioned our incoming class. I'm knocking on wood here, Pete, but we are confident we're going to break the record-setting first-time full-time class we brought in last year.
That would be 2 or 3 years in a row now,
This will
right?
be the second year in a row. So we're super excited about that, and then really excited this year to be focused on supporting our students and providing them that infrastructure they need to be successful, so that we get them to MSU, Texas. We want to get them across the stage with that diploma. So we're really, really excited about that.
So what's led to this increase? How have you managed to do that?
You know, I think that a number of things. We really began to communicate the quality of the academic experience that you're going to have at MSU, Texas. Research tells us the number one factor for students and their families is the quality of the education they're going to receive. So we began to message that more carefully and to message it to more individuals, and also to leverage the variety of different ways to consume information. I met a student from Nevada, and I said, well, how did you get here? And she said, well, I saw an Instagram about MSU, Texas being the #1 most beautiful campus in Texas, and then I went down a rabbit hole, and then I applied, and 2 weeks later I'm talking to you. So there were a number of different things, but the truth of it is, Pete, it was just really, really, really hard work. There's no magic trick there.
You mentioned the most beautiful campus on Texas, and there's been some changes on the campus, some renovation going on.
Yes, we are so excited. Bolin Hall, which I think had not been touched since I was a student there in the...
Well, that was only a couple years ago.
Exactly, Pete, exactly. But we've just completed a $44 million renovation and expansion, and it is just stunning, and we're thrilled to get back into that building. I can't say enough about Whiting Turner, who did that construction for us. We were in one side of the building, then had to flip. Our faculty were having to reside in one of the residence halls floors while we were remodeling, but it's just terrific to have that open.
They did a great job, and it's a great company, I'm sure, but the WT signs always gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Fair enough.
I thought West Texas was invading us.
Yeah,
but
no, that would not be good.
No, they did a great job. Now, what was the impetus for that renovation, and what do the students get out of that renovation?
Right. Well, I think, rather than just building a new building, the campus, one of the reasons why we are #1 most beautiful is that we have been careful to care for the facilities we have. So a lot of that was toward infrastructure, bringing up that building to code, making sure that you have the appropriate wiring and infrastructure and the ducts and all of that, elevators and all of it. But then also we expanded to have some more classroom space because, again, we're growing and we're going to need it. So excited for that.
Part of the growth is the relationship you've got with Shepherd Air Force Base, right?
It has been really, really exciting. And again, this is a community on the go, and a community that recognizes and values Shepherd Air Force Base and those who serve our country. And we are really excited we will be opening March our Military Education Center and our Student Success Center in the same space there on the second floor of Bridwell. And that was a combination of a philanthropic contribution by the Bridwell Foundation, as well as our economic development boards for the first time ever invested in the university to build that center. And we had donors around our community who contributed $800,000, actually over that now, in scholarships to support active duty and their families. When we were building this collaboration with the base, the leadership was very clear. It's not just about the individual who's serving. The whole family is serving. And so we were careful to be able to support all of them. And we've seen about a third of our scholarships going to active duty, a third to their spouses, and a third to dependents. So we are just really grateful for that collaboration.
Yeah, I love that word collaboration because it's beneficial for both, right? It's beneficial for Shepherd and it's beneficial for Midwestern State.
100%. And the other thing I can say about that is we took that investment of our community and we went to the legislature and said, look, our community has put up these dollars to support our base and to support our students, and we ask the legislature to also invest in MSU to help us hire the individuals to provide that financial aid, the advising, all of that support structure that not just our active duty and their dependents need, but all of our students. And that was a good pitch for our legislature. So we've also, in this last legislative session, have been given $1.5 million per year to be able, and we are hiring right now those individuals who will be supporting our students and our military.
Visiting with President Stacey Haney here at halftime. Western Colorado leading Midwestern State 21-0. I know being part of the community is it's big to you. I know you're active with the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Absolutely, and honored, actually. I have to say, this Clay County gal growing up there in Henrietta, if you'd ever told me, oh, one day you're going to be talking to Pete Stein at halftime for your alma mater, I would have just, but here's the thing.
You would have said, who's Pete Stein?
Nah, you're too funny. But here's the thing, MSU does great things, and they provided a foundation for me from which I have been able to jump, and that's why I'm so passionate about ensuring that every student who wants to come to MSU can find their home here and be successful.
You mentioned passion, and that's on display from the school president at every sporting event. And when I say every sporting event, I'm not sure how many university presidents show up for a women's soccer scrimmage, but lo and behold, you were there.
It was so fun. And the volleyball matches today.
Oh, how about the volleyball team?
They look so good, but it's so fun. And Pete, as you move into administration, you get further from the classroom, and then you get further from the students. So anytime I'm able to see our students and cheer for them and engage with them, I want to be there for that.
Stephanie Radecki's got kind of an exciting team.
It was really fun to watch them play.
And I was in the match, I guess it was last night. We were late in the third set. I just looked down on the floor and just kind of looking at the lineup, and I'm like, that girl's talented. Stephanie Radecki has gone about this in a very methodical way, but she's put together a pretty good team, I think.
Coach Radecki has done a good job of retaining some really special talent, but then she's also brought some players in through the portal that are really going to be game changers for us.
And I know Kyle was, and he's been on the record with this, he's not crazy about the portal. He's like me. He's an old guy in sports, and he's resistant to change. I mean, he's accepting it, and he's dealing with it. But what are your thoughts about the portal and NIL, and how does all of that affect Midwestern State?
Well, I think we're all still trying to figure that out. It certainly is challenging for coaches. I think, if you think of the pendulum, we were over here on the right where we made it impossible for students who maybe didn't find the right home to be able to move. And that may have been for academic reasons, personal reasons, or in terms of their sport. But I think now we're like, okay, how do we make sure that in the long term this is in the best interest of the student and their academic enterprise? But it's the reality that we are all dealing with. I think NIL is and will be coming to D2, and we are certainly trying to be thoughtful about that and make sure that we, again, approach it in a way that really supports our students and their success.
Yeah, and you're pursuing
we are
roads, avenues to be engaged in NIL.
We are, and part of that is trying to make sure that you're navigating it within the rules, but also supporting our students and ensuring that this is going to help them to be successful on the field, on the court, on the pitch, but also in the classroom.
So there are still rules.
As I understand it.
It seems like the wild, wild west out there.
It does seem a bit like the wild, wild west.
Is there anything in the imminent future for Midwestern State that is at the forefront of your mind?
I think we are really focused on ensuring that those students who come are successful. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that's been exciting about talking and working and collaborating with the base is that they will say, well, this is a barrier for our airmen. And we'll look at it and say, that's a barrier for every student. Why are we doing that? And then have conversations around it. So really trying to be very thoughtful about everything from today I was welcoming in students who were visiting with their parents who are going to be joining us, we hope, next fall. So for the time we're first talking with that student until I'm handing them that diploma, how can we do better, be better in every way. And of course, we are excited about the potential for a new stadium.
Yeah, and it looks like the athletic program is kind of swinging in the right direction here. Watching what happened with soccer last year, what's happening, the way volleyball has started this season.
Soccer's always strong.
Yeah.
They're looking good.
Yeah, they do. I tell you, the men are good. Everybody knows that. I'm telling you, watch out for the women's team. I know they had a 2-0 lead the other night, and it slipped away. They had to settle for a draw. But I really like what Ryan Spence is doing.
They are fast.
They are. They've got great speed on the ball.
Yes, they are fun to watch.
Yeah, and they've got that attacking mindset that Michael Meacham has with the men's team, which I know is kind of cuts against the grain for Ryan because he's a defense first guy. He wants clean sheets. That's what he wants more than anything. But no, I think the women are going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I tell you, the other program keep an eye on is the women's basketball team.
We're excited about both men's and women's this year for sure. New coach.
You got a new coach on the men's program,
absolutely.
and you've got a Midwestern State alum.
Yes, we do.
Now at the helm.
Super excited about that. And one other thing I want to mention, we really want the community to come out and to be here and to support the Mustangs. And this year we're going to be, again, partnering with the base and being able to get buses to get the airmen here more than just for military appreciation.
I love that.
We are really, really excited about it.
I think I've probably told you this, but those military appreciation games are the best.
The best.
Those guys come with so much energy,
They
they put their heart and soul in rooting for Midwestern State.
They do, and the players will tell you what a difference it makes when they're there. And again, we are grateful to our city manager, Jeff Jenkins, and for helping us to work through the getting the buses. And we've had donors step up. Very grateful for that. And we're waiting on that last signature from the base, and then we will be excited to have them here for football games. But we want them there for other athletic events.
Yeah,
too.
that's going to be great. I can't wait till that all that paperwork gets taken care of because it's just a different environment when they're in attendance at these games. Any advice for Rich Renner how to overcome this 21-0 deficit?
The points they have are the ones we gave them.
That's exactly right.
So
stop giving away points, maybe.
Stop giving away points. That first quarter is pretty inexplicable, but we've got to put some points on the. On the scoreboard.
Rich told me in the podcast before the first game that he was really concerned about the punting. We got away with it last week.
Yeah.
We didn't have to punt.
Yeah.
So we didn't see it,
Yeah.
and we saw exactly what he's talking about in those first 2 attempts to punt. But it looks like they've got things cleaned up. That last punt was a 66-yard punt.
That was stunning.
Yeah, that's and I don't know how much you know about Joe Carlson, who's doing the kicking and the punting, but he's a special young man.
He is.
And kind of indicative. It's interesting because he's got a military background, so he kind of blends in with what we're talking about, but he's kind of indicative of the students you meet when you're at Midwestern State.
No, absolutely agree. And, it's just so fun to cheer for our Mustangs. And obviously we want to put W's up. And hopefully we'll come back in the second half and show who we are.
Well, thanks for putting up with me for another year.
Oh, my goodness, Pete. So good to see you again. And we are just so fortunate to have such a talent who's here for all of our sports, knows our teams, knows our students, knows our community. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, you're more than – it's my pleasure. There's nothing I'd rather do than this. So
there's nothing we would rather you do than this.
I'm happy you guys write me a check to do it. So thank you very much. We'll see you at graduation.
Yes, you will.
All right, good deal. That's President Stacey Haney joining us at halftime. Midwestern State had a lot to talk about in the locker room at halftime. They've got to overcome a 21-0 deficit when the second half gets underway at Memorial Stadium on FloCollege.
Fans, the athletic season is in full swing with several other Mustang programs beginning their seasons this weekend. Cross country competed in the Aggie Duels in Lawton, Oklahoma on Friday. The Mustangs finished third with Connor McClendon running the top time for the Mustangs in just over 19 minutes and 4 seconds, placing 10th. Close behind were Connor's teammates Polo Flores in 12th and Lula Nolan in 13th in the field of 86 runners. Volleyball finished the Mustangs invitation with a 3-0 record, earning victories over Southeast Oklahoma, William Gould, and Kansas Newman. Isabella Dickens in the first 2 matches from Owl Park, Texas, with 22 kills. Women's soccer began their season on Thursday with a 2-2 tie against Southern Nazarene. Goals from Marletta Miravold and Madison Brinkley. The Mustangs are back on the pitch tomorrow afternoon against Wachita Baptist in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, with kickoff slated for 2 p.m. Men's soccer currently in the Centennial State, taking part in the Colorado Mesa Soccer Showcase. Yesterday evening, the Mustangs came away with a 1-1 tie against the home team Mavericks. MSU continues its season tomorrow morning in Grand Junction, Colorado, as the Mustangs square off with Westminster University of Utah beginning at 11 a.m. Central Time. And fans, be sure to come support Midwestern State Women's Cross Country next Thursday as they host the Mustang Derby on September 11th at 8 a.m. The race will be held at Lake Wichita and will feature numerous Mustangs competing against several teams from the region. Come out and support the Mustangs September 11th. That's women's cross country for Midwestern State University.
Western Colorado has outgained Midwestern State here at Memorial Stadium in the Mustangs' home opener, 177 yards to 57. They scored 21 first quarter points, spurred on by some special teams miscues. It's the Mountaineers 21, the Mustangs nothing. The second half is coming up next on FloCollege.
Orthopedics Express. Our primary focus is delivering exceptional care to patients with orthopedic injuries such as sprains, strains, broken bones, and joint pain. You'll receive the expert care you need when you need it most. Simply walk in or schedule an appointment through my chart. Located inside the Center for Advanced Orthopedics, Orthopedics Express is your fast track to orthopedic care.
We're back at Memorial Stadium. Midwestern State's home opener has not gone as hoped. Western Colorado taking a 21-0 lead. Nash scored on a 1-yard run, capping a 5-play, 21-yard drive after a block punt. Then it was just a 5-yard drive that took 2 plays in 27 seconds. Jones scoring on a 1-yard run after Midwestern State couldn't get off a punt because of a low snap. And then Western Colorado's longest drive was a 9-play, 55-yard drive that took 5:22. Nash threw a 3-yard touchdown pass to Meisner. That came with 1:25 to play in the first quarter. We haven't had any scoring since then, so it's still Western Colorado 21, Midwestern State nothing. The Mountaineers will have the football to begin the second half, unless Midwestern State's got something sneaky up their sleeve here. See if they do kick it off. Ball is teed up. Sia Thompson kicks it off. It's a high end-over-end kick that's somewhat short, fielded at the 6-yard line. Returned up the right side, coming left. Oh, a big opening up the middle of the 25 to the 30, 35, 40, and finally dragged down DJ Allen. tackle made by Hollis, the 5'11 freshman out of Chicago. So good field position was how Western Colorado capitalized in the first quarter, and they've got decent field position here at the start of the third, leading 21-0. They'll begin the first drive of the second half at their own 42. Nash has a running back to his right, a wing on the right, two receivers to the right, one receiver to the left. The receivers are tight toward the formation. Now the slot receiver goes motion right. Nash fires and completes the pass at the 45-yard line. The catch is made by Meisner, and he gets wrapped up immediately, and it's a gain of only about 5 yards. It'll be second down and 5 for the Mountaineers. Western Colorado at its own 47-yard line. We've played 30 seconds of the third quarter. Nash with a running back on either side. Two receivers to the left. Running back out of the backfield comes motion left. It's a handoff to Jones running right, and he has his feet cut out from underneath him by Akeel Edwards. It's only going to be a gain of a yard. Third down and 4 coming up for Western Colorado. These are in a slot to the right, two receivers to the left. It's an empty backfield. Tight end lined up on the right side. No tight end. Two receivers right, three to the left. Timeout Midwestern State. The Mustangs weren't exactly sure what was going on. Cameron DeVault, palms held up with a puzzling look on his face as he comes toward the sideline. Head coach Rich Renner right in the middle of this huddle and right in the middle of this conversation. Renner, of course, was the defensive coordinator at Midwestern State for 14 years, was on the Bill Maskell staff for 17 years before taking over last year as the head coach. Thought they had a chance to win that game in Western Colorado last year, but it wasn't to be. They ended up losing that game 38-33. Sean Jastrub was the quarterback in that game last year and had the 5th best passing game in program history, completing 30 of 51 passes for 395 yards. Midwestern State had 440 yards of total offense in Gunnison last year, 57 yards of total offense so far tonight. They've been outgained 183-57, trail 21-0, and have to use a timeout on defense with 13:44 to play in the third quarter. Third down for Western Colorado, which has converted 5 of 8 on third down. They have the football at their own 48-yard line. They come out in the same formation, 3 receivers to the wide side and 2 to the boundary short side right. Nash runs a quarterback draw, has it tucked away in his left arm, and he is staying gang tackled before he gets to the line of scrimmage. The first man on the scene for Midwestern State was Quincy Montgomery, the defensive end, a 6'3", 250-pound junior out of Houston. Fourth down coming up for Western Colorado. They're 0 for 1 on fourth down. It looks like they're going to bring the punting unit on. So Western Colorado stopped on their opening drive in the second half. Brings Easton Peterson on to punt. It's a knee-high snap. Peterson gets the kick away. Backing up is DeMonte Green. He'll haul it in at the 7-yard line, opting to make the catch. And normally you wouldn't want your punt returner to catch that, but Western Colorado was all around the football, and if they let it hit the ground, the Mountaineers are likely to down it at the 1-yard line. It's not great field position for Midwestern State. They got it at the 7. Longino at quarterback, and he's 6 of 14 tonight for 63 yards. He'll hand the football off to Elijah, who runs right and never gets to turn upfield. He gets tackled before he can turn the corner by Drew Johnson, a 6'3", 245-pound freshman. That's going to put the football back at the 2-yard line. Second and 15. Longino passing out of the end zone. Launches it over the head of Case Peacock. Incomplete. Throws it toward the bleachers. And Midwestern State now faces 3rd and long from its own 2-yard line. Western Colorado with a 3-man front with Freeman, Smith, and Johnson. Diamond, Loomis, Musser, and Beinerwitz, the linebackers. Longino's in trouble. He's near the back line of the end zone as he passes complete to the 15-yard line. They're going to be very close to a first down. DeMonte Green made the catch. Needed to get a couple of yards after the catch to move the chains, and the Mustangs convert. Midwestern State had been just 1 of 9 on 3rd down. Longino hands off. Looking for a little bit of running room is D.T. McCoy. He's blown up as he gets to the 19-yard line. It's only a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9. It was a miracle 16-yard completion to Green to get that first down. I'm telling you, Longino was inches away from a safety. $11:25 to play in the 3rd quarter. It's 21-0 Western Colorado. Midwestern State struggling to move the football tonight, and they hand the football off to McCoy, and he gets wrapped up in the backfield and brought down by Cameron Cooper, a sophomore out of Gilbert, Arizona. Western Colorado, they look good coming off the bus, and they look good tonight defensively on the field. 3rd down and 12. Longino looking over toward the sideline. Gets the play call from offensive coordinator Kirk Bryant. Play action, Longino fires over the middle. The pass is caught by Green, who's brought down at the 24-yard line. The line to gain is the 28. 4th down coming up for Midwestern State. They're too deep in their own territory. They've got to punt. We saw a 66-yard punt off the foot of Joseph Carlson, the graduate student from Frisco who transferred from Air Force. He's been the Midwestern State place kicker for he started last season. Replaced Ritzy Vase, who transferred, and now punting as well. Gets this punt off. Going to get a favorable bounce. Checks up at the 30 and then starts to come back upfield. It's out of bounds at around the 32-yard line. That's where Western Colorado begins in their own field, at their own end of the field, leading 21-0 with 9:47 to play. We're in the 3rd quarter. Western Colorado outgaining Midwestern State 183 yards to 74. There's a timeout on the field here at Memorial Stadium in the Mustangs home opener. They trail Western Colorado 21-0 on FloCollege.
Had a hard day at work? Come home and pour yourself a cold pint of FloCollege, the exclusive home for all Midwestern State games and the exclusive broadcast from the Lone Star Conference. Subscribe now and save pages $19.99 a month or $107.88 a year, or pay $9.99 a month or $71.88 a year when you use a .edu email address. As part of the subscription, fans receive access to all the Lone Star Conference and to all of the executions on FloCollege. That's FloCollege, the exclusive broadcast from the Lone Star Conference and your Midwestern State University Mustangs.
Western Colorado taking over at its own 37-yard line, or pardon me, its own 32-yard line. Leading 21-0. There's 9:47 to play the third quarter. Drew Nash at quarterback, 9 of 14 for 88 yards. Completing passes to 6 different receivers. Fires left, and the catch is made by Meisner. It's his second reception, but it's going to be for no gain. He's buried by a Stang gang at the 32-yard line, right on the numbers up the left side of the field as Western Colorado moves south to north here at Memorial Stadium. They'll face second down and 10. Meager lines up as a slot receiver on the right side. Should say Meisner lining up in a slot on the right side, with one receiver to the boundary short side left, a wing on the left. The wing starts in motion going to the right. Play action pass. Fired to the right side, and the pass is completed to Antoine Jackson near the 40-yard line, 2 yards shy of a first down. Makes the catch in front of the sideline on the west side of the stadium. Third down and 2. 8:50 to play. Meisner, slot left with Jackson to the boundary on the left side. The handoff goes to Jones. Jones burst up the middle, and just before he could escape into the secondary, he got pulled down by a Mustang defender at the 43-yard line, and the Mountaineers waste no time. And on 1st and 10, they've got it at the 43. Play action, Nash takes off, gets tripped up by Mackay Prosper. Mackay Prosper, a 6'4", 235-pound senior out of Miami, Florida. Keeps Nash from a big gain. And again, running this hurry-up offense. Flags come out. I'll bet this is a false start again. Well, there's going to be some conversation among the officials here. It does appear as though they're going to mark a penalty off against Western Colorado. Still waiting on the ultimate decision here. Cornell Klubu is going to come out of the game for Midwestern State, replaced by Quincy Montgomery. The referee says false start, Western Colorado. So a 5-yard penalty. We don't know who the infraction is against, but it'll be second down and 12. Western Colorado at its own 40, leading 21-0 with 8:12 to play in the third quarter. Ruiz is split to the left side, 3 receivers to the wide side right. Midwestern State with 3 down linemen. The left end in a 2-point stance. Nash fires quickly out to the right flat. The catch is made. Stumbling after making the catch is Antoine Jackson. Jackson is stopped at the 41-yard line. It's going to be third down and call it 12 for Western Colorado at the 41. They converted 6 of 10 on third down tonight, but the Midwestern State defense since the start of the second quarter has played pretty well. Still, Western Colorado leads 21-0. Nash with an empty backfield, drops back, feels pressure, steps up, throws over the middle, caught, and then hit in the kidneys just as he made the catch was Yasir Berry. And the catch is good for a first down, and Midwestern State has a player down. And his teammates are calling for the training staff to come out. It's Jalen Broadus who is shaken up, the sophomore out of DeSoto. Mustang defense coming over toward the sideline while the training staff looks at Broadus. 7:03 to play. There's concern for Broadus here at Memorial Stadium. With Western Colorado leading 21-0, our coverage continues on FloCollege after this.
Number 2, Jalen Broadus, applying the hit on that previous play.
Mustang fans get good news when they see Broadus sit up and walking off under his own power now. Midwestern State fans are especially sensitive after seeing tragedy here at Memorial Stadium several years ago. When they see a player down like that, you can't help but think about Robert Gray. Number 24 still retired, and the Mustangs still 24 strong. And Robert Gray is never far from the minds of Mustangs. Less than 7 minutes to play, 21-0. We're in the third quarter. Western Colorado leads, and they've got it 1st and 10 at the 40. There's a nice catch made by Berry. And an incomplete pass here. It probably should have been intercepted. Mustangs have forced a turnover tonight, but failed to capitalize on the Presley interception in the first half. Here's 2nd down and 10. Four down linemen for the Mustangs. They come with pressure. Nash throws over the middle, wide open, and running right down the seam all the way into the end zone is the tight end, who was completely uncovered. And Kay Getz scores the touchdown. A 6'2", 240-pound freshman hauls it into the end zone untouched. A TD for Getzy. And it's 27-0 now in favor of Western Colorado. .40-yard pass completion for Paydirt. An 8-play, 68-yard drive took 3:16. The extra point is tacked on by Tesi, and The hole grows bigger for Midwestern State. Tassi splits the uprights. It's now a 28-0 lead. Western Colorado way out in front. They had not scored since scoring 21 in the first quarter. Nash now 14 of 20, 455 yards with 2 touchdown passes. That's 256 yards of total offense now for Western Colorado. They're averaging over 11 yards per completion and nearly 5.5 yards per play. By contrast, Midwestern State is averaging less than 2 yards per play. Mustangs, on average, are losing a half yard on every rushing play offensively. 6:31 remaining here in the third quarter. It's 28-0 Western Colorado. Midwestern State will be back home in 2 weeks for family weekend. And we hope you can join us as Eastern New Mexico will be here. It's the Cam Brennan Bowl next in 2 weeks. Cam Brennan, the new sports information director at Midwestern State, coming over from Eastern New Mexico. Glad to have him in God's country now. 28-0. Western Colorado leads Brennan's new university. We've seen some great comebacks here through the years. This would be one for the ages if Midwestern State could overcome this, the way Western Colorado has played defense tonight. DeMonte Green waiting back at the goal line for Midwestern State. D.T. McCoy is also back there. He's waiting at the 6-yard line. Green now walks forward up to the 2-yard line as Western Colorado kicks off. Green's going to take it from the goal line to the 10. Bounce off a tackle at the 15, come left and get out of bounds at the 19-yard line. So DeMonte Green trying to make something happen in the kicking game for Midwestern State with that return. So the football is at the 19-yard line after the DeMonte Green return. Four receivers, 2 on each side, and on both sides, one receiver lined up behind the other. Now Dunphy goes in motion to the left for the Mustangs. Longino fires. The wide receiver screen set up for DeMonte Green, who runs through one tackle coming right, and then goes down at the 24-yard line as the tackle is made by Trevor Monteleone. Monteleone, a 5'11 sophomore out of Buena Park, California. Midwestern State quickly up to the line of scrimmage. On 2nd down and 5, Longino throwing left, complete at the 25-yard line. Dunphy across the 30 to the 31-yard line, picking up a first down for Midwestern State. Mustangs have their 8th first down of the game. From the 31, 1st and 10. Longino passes left to DeMonte Green. Little hesitation move and then dragged down as he reaches the 45 by Cameron Cooper, the sophomore linebacker. 1st and 10, Midwestern State at its own 45. Trailing 28-0 with 5:40 to play in the third quarter. 2 receivers on each side of the formation. McCoy takes the handoff and gets buried by the Mountaineers. No running room for McCoy. Making the tackle was Ian Loomis, 6'3 junior linebacker out of Loveland, Colorado. A 4-yard loss brings up 2nd and 14 for the Mustangs at their own 41-yard line. 3 receivers bunched on the right side, 1 split out to the left. McCoy stays in to block as a running back. Deep pass down the middle. Caught by Green. No, he couldn't hold on to it. It comes out and the pass is incomplete at the Western Colorado 20-yard line. Green was in a crowd, and it looked for a moment like he had made the catch, but the ball comes out of his hands as he's going to the ground. It's an incomplete pass that brings up 3rd and 13 with 4:51 to play in the third quarter, and the Mustangs trailing 28-0. There haven't been many explosive plays for the offense tonight. Longino's 11 of 21 for 113 yards, completing 52% of his passes, and the longest completion has been for 12 yards. And that was to Elijah. Pass for Green, who's tightly covered, and the pass is broken up by Monteleone, covering on the play at the Western Colorado 43-yard line. The punting unit is back on. So Carlson tonight punting for the 5th time. He's been averaging 46.5 yards per punt. He had a 66-yard punt earlier tonight. One time he's pinned them inside the 20-yard line. This one's going to be fielded at the 20 and returned up the left hash mark out to the 35-yard line. Antoine Jackson fields the punt. Returns it about 15 yards. And with 4:37 to play in the third quarter, Western Colorado has it 1st and 10 at its own 35-yard line. Mountaineers with 256 yards of total offense tonight. Nash 14 of 20 for 155 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Jones is the leading rusher with 42 yards. As a team, they've run for 101 yards. 6 different ball carriers have carried it 27 times. With a 28-0 lead, Western Colorado makes a change at quarterback. Taking this snap is Roy Josiah, a 6'2 junior out of Colorado Springs, running up the middle right behind his center, picks up 4 yards. 2nd down and 6 coming up for Western Colorado. Josiah's got a running back to his right, a tight end on the right side. Running play up the middle. It's carried to the 41-yard line. The ball carrier is Schubarth, the sophomore. Stopped at the 41. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for Western Colorado. Western Colorado's run for more than 100 yards. Midwestern State has lost 16 yards on the ground tonight. The Midwestern State defense has done a better job slowing down the run tonight than they did last week against Missouri Southern, but they're down 28-0 with 3:20 to play. Nash is back in, dumping a pass off to the right side, finding Meisner, who's got yards after the catch, crossing midfield, out of bounds at the Midwestern State 46-yard line. Picking up a 1st down. A gain of 13 yards brings up 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. Nash has a running back to either side. Gets a chest-high snap. Put the ball in the belly of his running back, then takes it away from Schubarth. Throws over the middle. The pass is complete, and running into the end zone is Ruiz for a Western Colorado touchdown. Make it 34-0 with 2:37 to play. And the route is on at Memorial Stadium. That's a 46-yard touchdown pass to Ruiz. That's the longest pass play of the night. The extra point is up and good, and Western Colorado has a 35-0 lead, spoiling the home opener for Midwestern State. Tassi tacking on the extra point, capping a 4-play, 65-yard drive. 59 yards through the air, 6 yards on the ground. They picked up a couple of first downs. 2-minute drive for Western Colorado, and the 46-yard completion to Ramon Ruiz, good for a touchdown at the end of that drive. 14 points here in the third quarter after they scored 21 in the first. And they are pouring it on here. Now with 321 yards of total offense, and Midwestern State has not yet got to the century mark. 97 yards of total offense for the Mustangs. And Western Colorado just winning all three phases of the game convincingly. This is a team that got to the second round of the NCAA Division II playoffs and lost by a point to Bemidji State last year in the postseason. They're ranked number 7 in the nation, and they look even better than that tonight against a Midwestern State team that, though they lost last week at Missouri Southern, you could see potentially where they don't make a mistake here and there or make a play here and there. They could have won that game. There's none of that tonight. This has been one-way traffic. Lott on the return gets tripped up, and there's a player shaken up. There's a Mustang that appears to be in tremendous pain down on the ground. The injured player, Cameron Griffin, sophomore out of Tyler. The training staff taking a look at him. They were out looking at Jalen Broadus earlier, and the crowd was happy to see Broadus sit up and walk off under his own power. Kind of a scary moment after Broadus had made a big hit on Yasir Berry. This is a special teams play that has Griffin shaken up. Griffin writhing in pain down on the field here at Memorial Stadium. Joe Golding Field. Western Colorado dominating the game, leading 35-0. The one thing that Midwestern State avoided last week, injuries. In fact, they got through camp without many injuries, and that was one of the things that Rich Renner was really encouraged about. It is something when you talk to Midwestern State athletes, it doesn't really matter what sport it is. We were talking to, I want to say it was Bella Dickens that we were talking to after one of the victories for the volleyball team, and she was bragging about the strength and conditioning coaches at Midwestern State, and we've heard that from several athletes in several different sports. So you start to grow convinced that there's something to it, and Rich Renner has bragged about the job that they've done, and he thinks that's a big reason why Midwestern State has somewhat avoided a ton of injuries. This is a collision sport. You're not going to avoid injuries completely. And it looks like they've got the inflatable cast out there maybe. So this certainly is a serious football injury for Cameron Griffin. It's the second time tonight that the stadium has really been silenced by an injury. We're happy to see Broadus walk off under his own power. And right now Griffin is surrounded by the training staff and will be taken off in an ambulance. But it appears to be a football injury, and he clearly is in pain, and I don't want to diminish what he's going through at all, but it doesn't look like anything more than just a serious football injury. But given his reaction, the reaction of the training staff, and the appearance of the TranStar ambulance, it certainly looks like it's a season-ending injury. .233 to play. We're at Memorial Stadium in the home opener for Midwestern State. Mustangs will take off next week, but back in 2 weeks for family weekend to play Eastern New Mexico. Between now and then, you can see the Midwestern State men's soccer team. They will be home on September 11th for a match against Newman. The Mustangs take on the Jets at 6 o'clock Thursday night, September 11th at Stang Park. Should be a great night of soccer, and we'd love to see you there at Stang Park. Midwestern State soccer games are so much fun. The women are starting off on the road. I believe their first 4 are on the road before they finally come home. They won't make an appearance at Stang Park until September 20th. They are playing 3 non-conference games away. They'll be in action on that Thursday night, but they'll be in Edmond at Central Oklahoma. They won't be home until September 20th. They'll play A&M International in the conference opener on the 17th in Laredo, and then come home and play UT Dallas, the Lone Star Conference newcomer, at 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, September 20th. That's part of that family weekend. That'll be before the football game on Saturday night, so you can do a Mustang double dip if you wanted. Come see the Mustangs and the Comets in a women's soccer match before the Midwestern State football game against Eastern New Mexico. The injured player still being attended to down on Joel Golding Field and has play held up here for the moment at Memorial Stadium. Midwestern State volleyball hosting that Midwestern State Invitational this week, winning all 3 of their matches. Put on a gurney now and being loaded into the ambulance is Cameron Griffin, and he'll get a standing ovation from the crowd here at Memorial Stadium. His teammates have been down on a knee, and they're back up. Play will resume here shortly. The ambulance will depart. And we'll have to have another ambulance here. Gary Deem and the training staff doing their job. The ambulance kind of impersonating the Midwestern State offense tonight. Ambulance going in reverse as they make their way out of Memorial Stadium. Midwestern State has rushed for minus 16 yards tonight, so they have 113 yards passing, only 97 yards of total offense. From the 22-yard line, Longino, the left-handed quarterback, drops back to pass, throws deep down the right side, has a man. The catch is made by DeMonte Green. Green was wide open down the right side and did a good job adjusting to the football. Gets out of bounds at midfield in front of the Midwestern State bench. And the pass completion for Longino gives Midwestern State a first down at midfield, and he quickly fires out to Green again, who makes the catch at the 50 and then is sandwiched as he gets into Western Colorado territory at the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 coming up. So a 1-yard gain after the 28-yard pass completion, back-to-back completions to Devontae Green. 2nd down and 9. Longino feels pressure, runs left, and the pass is incomplete. Again, the intended receiver was Devontae Green, who was the freshman of the year in the Lone Star Conference last year. That's the 10th time he's been targeted by Longino tonight. He's got 6 catches for 51 yards. 3rd down and 9 for Midwestern State at the Western Colorado 49. The Mustangs are down 35-0 with 1:53 to play here in the 3rd quarter. That's got to be offsides, right? It's a free play for Longino, and he throws it deep down the left side, incomplete. There was, I guess the only question is, was there a false start for Midwestern State? But Jerry Whitty, a 5'11 freshman from San Pedro, was in the Midwestern State backfield before that ball was snapped, and it is offsides against Western Colorado. So Midwestern State will get a chance on 3rd down again. It'll be 3rd and 3 instead of 3rd and 8. And the Mustangs have only converted 2 of 12 on 3rd down tonight. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down. And there's little doubt but that they would probably go for it on 4th down. They've got Kenji Johnson in the backfield along with Longino. Johnson, the running back, to his right. Johnson had a fumble in the first half against Missouri Southern last week, and we didn't see any more of him in the backfield. Longino completes a slant pass, and Green gets inside the Western Colorado 30-yard line down to the 28. Pass complete to the right side. Making the catch is Jamarian Carroll. Inside the 25. A gain of 4. 2nd down and 6. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Green catches it inside the 20 and gets knocked out of bounds by Trevor Monteleone at the 15-yard line. It's Cameron Thomas who caught that 16-yard pass earlier in this drive before Carroll caught a 3-yard pass. Midwestern State has moved to the Western Colorado 15. Midwestern State 0 for 1 in the red zone tonight. The new ambulance is arriving. The injured player is still here. You have to have an ambulance on site. There's an incomplete pass thrown to the right side. 38 seconds to play. So Cameron Griffin has not yet been taken to the hospital as they waited for another ambulance to arrive here. 2nd down and 10. Football at the 15-yard line. Midwestern State, 2 receivers, 1 lined up behind the other on the left side and 1 receiver to the right. Quick pass out to the left, intercepted. How about that? A rushing lineman reaches out and snares it with one hand, and Longino is intercepted, I believe for the first time this year, by Freeman, the 6'5 junior out of Chino, California. I really think he was just trying to knock the ball down and it just kind of stuck in his hand. But Midwestern State turns the ball over. So Western Colorado comes back out with Nash at the helm, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Pass complete at the 20-yard line. There to make the tackle for Midwestern State is Jordan Johnson. He brings down the Western Colorado tight end, Getsy, who caught that touchdown pass earlier. Brought down after a 4-yard gain, and that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for Western Colorado at its own 24-yard line. As we start the fourth quarter, the Mountaineers lead the Mustangs in the Midwestern State home opener 35-0. This is Midwestern State football on FloCollege.
The race will be held at Lake Wichita and features numerous Mustangs competing against several teams from the region. Come out once again and support the Mustangs September 11th, 8 a.m. at Lake Wichita here in Wichita Falls, hosting the women's cross-country Mustangs Derby.
We're at Memorial Stadium tonight. Cheers to you, those of you who are watching literally around the world on FloCollege. Western Colorado begins the fourth quarter leading 35-0. 2nd down and 6. Receivers split out to each side. The handoff goes to Schubarth. Trying to muscle his way up the middle against the Midwestern State defense is stymied after a 2-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down, call it 3 needed for Western Colorado. Mountaineers on top, 35-0. They bring Antoine Jackson out to the left side of the formation. Or pardon me, he's out wide to the right, one receiver to the left. Midwestern State getting a defender off late. Before they get penalized, Jordan Johnson crosses the boundary. The receiver to the left is DJ Allen. The pass comes right, it's incomplete. Western Colorado facing a 4th down will punt.
Back deep to receive the punt for the Mustangs, number 87.
Grable has 2 punts, a long of 45 yards. He's averaged 42.5 yards per punt. Green's got 1 return for 9 yards. He's waiting back at the 38-yard line. No real rush from the Mustangs. The punt is fielded at the 24-yard line. Scrambling his way through traffic, coming to the middle of the field, getting to the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, down the left sideline. It's Sadea Lott who was back returning that punt, weaving his way through Western Colorado defenders and getting all the way to the Mountaineer 31-yard line. So Midwestern State trying to get some kind of spark here. Green and Carroll go to the right side of the formation. Peacock is the receiver split to the left. Longino still in at quarterback for Midwestern State. Has completed 16 of 30 passes for 171 yards. He's running here, and he gets to the 25-yard line before he's brought down. Loomis in on the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Longino passes left, completes the pass, dragging a defender to the 20-yard line is Landon Thomason, a 6'4 junior out of Austin, Texas. Gets to the 20-yard line. I know we've got some fans watching in Austin tonight. 1st and 10. Longino has all day, but holds on too long. Eventually, time runs out on you, and he is sacked. That's the 6th sack of the game for Western Colorado. That one's on Longino. He had good protection. You got to get rid of the football. I believe Drew Johnson is the Mountaineer who's shaken up on the play. He's back up and walking off under his own power. Johnson out of Salida, Colorado. Johnson with a couple of tackles, a couple of solo tackles, and a sack tonight. Loomis is their leading tackler with 5 solo tackles, 7 total tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss tonight when he's broken up a pass. Longino has time again, throws into the end zone, caught, touchdown! Case Peacock strutting around in the end zone! The Mustangs score! Peacock had a lot to be proud of. He was wide open. It's 35-6. Joe Carlson knocks through the extra point. He was really aggravated that he missed an extra point last week. Hopefully he got that out of his system. Midwestern State, with 12:50 to play, is finally on the scoreboard tonight. They're down 35-7. Longino throwing a touchdown pass to Peacock to cap a 4-play, 31-yard drive. It took 1:05. And the catalyst for that scoring drive was the return by Lott. So there's been some special team snafus, but a good special teams play, a good kick return, set up that scoring drive for Midwestern State. Still 12:50 to play. You never know what might happen on FloCollege.
First thing, we've been working with families and local businesses to help achieve their goals for generations. Our presidents always come first, and that's why they choose us as their local bank. Investment, experience, and is here to stay. First name, Lobo Out.
Join us for the weekly Same Game podcast featuring head coach Rick Tritter, which drops every Wednesday. Available at MSUMustangs.com/podcast. You can always find the link at MSU Mustangs on Facebook and on Twitter.
Midwestern State finally on the board here tonight against Western Colorado, the 7th-ranked team in the nation, leading 35-7, a 24-yard touchdown pass from Longino to Peacock. And Longino, 18 of 32 for 200 yards now. The kickoff is out of bounds. That's not good. Special teams for Midwestern State's been like that little girl with the curl. When she's good, she's good. When she's bad, she's really bad.
Mountaineers will take over first and 10 for their own 35.
Football's going to come out to the 35-yard line. Longino has thrown his first interception of the season and his second touchdown pass of the season for Midwestern State. Western Colorado begins this drive at the 35-yard line, leading 35-7. Mustangs with 4 down linemen in a 4-3 defense. Western Colorado content just to run the ball and run some clock, and the running play gets bottled up for practically no gain, maybe a yard. 2nd down and 9 coming up.
Wrapped up and brought down by number 90, Marcus Van Leeuwen. 2nd down, 9.
Tackle made by Van Leeuwen, a 6'5 junior out of Bloomington, California. Second down and 9 for the Mountaineers. Nash still at the helm, 17 of 24 for 218 yards. Another running play up the middle across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Isaiah Jones darting ahead with the football, getting a lead block there from his tight end, Cooper Crawford. 3rd down and 4. Jones with back-to-back runs. Receiver split to either side. Another handoff to Jones, and he is dragged down short of the 1st down. Taston Vega is in on that tackle. He's a 5'11 freshman out of Stanford. So 4th down coming up here for Western Colorado. They're 0 for 1 on 4th down tonight. They're now 8 for 15 on 3rd down. And they will punt. Grable, 3 punts, a 50-yard punt tonight. He's averaging 45 yards a punt. And once again, Midwestern State has Lott. He's waiting for this back inside the 20-yard line, hoping to get another big return, but this is a booming punt that's going to bounce at the 5 and be down. Oh, it's off a Mountaineer and into the end zone. So the touchback is going to bring the football out to the 20-yard line, where the Mustangs will have it 1st and 10. .186 yards of total offense tonight for Midwestern State. Longino's thrown for 200, completing 18 of his 32 passes. He's completed passes to 9 different receivers. Green has caught 7 passes for 60 yards. Carroll has a 35-yard reception tonight. Green's been targeted 11 times, 7 more than any other receiver. Peacock's been targeted 4 times. He caught a 24-yard touchdown pass the last time Midwestern State had the football. They're down 35-7 with 10:39 to play. Western Colorado was up 21-0 at the end of the 1st quarter. Three receivers bunched to the right. And now the Mustangs bring one of those receivers and line him up as a wing on the left side, leaving Green in the slot. The left-handed quarterback, Longino, throwing deep down the middle, has a man leaping up, but overthrown is Jamarian Carroll. Carroll got inside his defender at midfield, and an accurate pass might have meant a big gain. Green in the slot right, Carroll wide right. Two receivers out to the left, including Brock Temple. Listed as a tight end. He's the slot receiver on the left side. Longino steps up in the pocket, throws over the middle, completes the pass. Green to the 35-yard line. Knocked down after he made the catch by Easton Peterson, a 6-foot freshman out of El Cajon, California. First down, Midwestern State at their own 35-yard line. Lott's going to line up to the right side. Midwestern State still making substitutions. James Cooper is coming to the game. The one-time Midwestern State quarterback is part of a triangle lined up at the right side. Longino fakes a handoff and runs up the middle and slides after a gain of 8. Longino's a little bit of a reluctant runner. He really prefers to throw the football. He started that slide at the 40-yard line. That's where he's marked down. Second down and 5. The lefty back to pass, flushed out of the pocket, still looking downfield, fires, and that pass is incomplete. Lott trapped it. There is a discussion between the line judge and the field judge, but it's an incomplete pass. So Midwestern State looking at 3rd and 5. The Mustangs just 3 of 12 on 3rd down tonight. Football at the 40-yard line. Jaden Coulter is the running back to the right of Longino, who's got 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Bell tie snap to Longino. Completes a slant to Green over the middle, and Green gets to the 47-yard line, picking up a Midwestern State first down. Their 16th first down. They've got 3 more first downs than Western New Mexico. Green's having quite a night. That's his 9th catch. He's been targeted 13 times tonight. An incomplete pass brings up second down and 10. And Western Colorado has a player down. It's Caden Campuzano who's down. He's a sophomore from Upland, California. The incomplete pass stopping the clock with 9:04 to play. Pass was intended for Lott. Campuzano getting attention from the Western Colorado training staff. Gary Deem of Midwestern State is there if needed. Gary Deem's kind of an interesting story. His father was a trainer in the business for a long time at New Mexico, a legendary trainer at the University of New Mexico. Gary will see his alma mater here in 2 weeks when Eastern New Mexico visits. But Gary Deem is a Mustang through and through now. He's in charge of keeping this Stang gang healthy, tending their bumps and bruises when needed. Second down and 10 coming up for Midwestern State. 9:04 to play. 35-7 Midwestern State trailing Western Colorado in the home opener. Western Colorado showing blitz. Mustangs have 3 receivers right, 1 left. Longino feels pressure, floats a pass that's incomplete, intended for Peacock. Longino kind of put that up for grabs. Fortunate that it wasn't intercepted. Peacock didn't have a play on it, but neither did Peterson, who was defending on the play. Less than 9 minutes remaining in the game. It's 3rd down and 10 for Midwestern State. 4-13 on 3rd down tonight. Longino and the other skilled position players looking to the bench to get the call from Kirk Bryant. First-year offensive coordinator at Midwestern State, came from Texas Tech. Longino's back to pass, and it's batted down as he tries to throw over the middle. The incomplete pass brings up 4th and 10. Midwestern State's got nothing to lose. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to go down 42-7. They're 0 for 2 on 4th down tonight, but facing 4th and 10 at their own 47, they'll keep the offense on the field. Dunphy and Green in the slot on the right side. Peacock is the receiver out to the left. Cole to the running back, started to move toward the slot, now comes back to the backfield. There's confusion and 3 seconds on the play clock. Rich Renner tells the line judge, I want a timeout. Longino was trying to get the snap back to him in a hurry, but Renner did not want to see a delay of game penalty called there. So the timeout is taken, and Midwestern State only has 1 timeout remaining, but the score's 35-7 with 8:54 to play in the 4th quarter. The lack of timeouts at the end of this game not likely to be an issue. Midwestern State's been outgained 336 to 213 yards. It's interesting, Midwestern State has 213 yards of total offense. Longino is 20 of 39 for 222 yards. That shows you how ineffective the ground game has been. Midwestern State has lost 9 yards on 27 carries tonight. Seems like only yesterday it was just the opposite. Midwestern State could run the ball and couldn't pass it. Now the air attack is more successful. It's a lopsided score here tonight, and that's not anything Midwestern State fans are used to. Even in their struggles in recent years, it's pretty rare to see a one-sided game like this. That's got to be defensive holding. Peacock at the 35-yard line had a defender clutching and grabbing on him. The pass is incomplete, and the flags stay in the pocket of the officials. So the incomplete pass on 4th down means a turnover on downs. We haven't seen many penalties in this game tonight. Midwestern State's only been penalized twice for 10 yards, and I think those were both false start penalties. Western Colorado's been penalized 6 times for just 26 yards. 8:48 to play. Midwestern State played last week at Missouri Southern. That game took 2 hours and 44 minutes. The game for Western Colorado against West Texas was more along the lines of 3 hours, 15 minutes. I think we're closer to that pace here tonight. 8:48 to play in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle to Jones. Jones will carry it to the Midwestern State 43-yard line. 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6 for Western Colorado. Midwestern State making substitutions. Matthew Cole is into the game, linebacker out of Michigan. I mean, the vast majority of this squad is still from Texas, but there's players from all over the country now in this Midwestern State roster. 8:05 to play. On 2nd down and 6, Nash throwing deep down the right side. A backpedaling receiver, DJ Allen, makes the catch. He's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. DJ Allen with his 2nd reception of the game. It's another 1st down for Western Colorado. They've got 14 of them tonight. 25-yard pass completion. Nash is now 18 of 25 for 243 yards with 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Allen to the right side of the formation, wing right, 1 receiver to the left. Jones takes the handoff, runs up the middle. Midwestern State's doing a much better job slowing down the running game. Western Colorado's got 122 yards, and they have not had a run of more than 15 yards. And some of these long runs, the runs from Jones and Schubarth and Ruiz came early in the game. Since then, Midwestern State's really tightened things up, made it tougher for Western Colorado to move on the ground. Made it tougher for Western Colorado to move, but still the Mountaineers up 35-7 after taking a 21-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. 6:48 to play in the game. Western Colorado at the Midwestern State 16-yard line, 2nd down and 8. Nash throwing deep to the left side. It's incomplete. In coverage for Midwestern State was C.J. Anderson. The incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 8 for Western Colorado. They've not been intimidated by 3rd down tonight. They have converted 8 of 14 chances. That last pass intended for Antoine Jackson. Johnson, the running back to the right of Nash. He's got 2 receivers on either side of the formation. Midwestern State calling its 3rd and final timeout with 6:37 to play. They didn't like something they saw out there. They'll make an adjustment. Try not to let Western Colorado increase this lead any further. Up 35-7 with 6:37 to play. Midwestern State's now exhausted all 3 of their timeouts. Not that Western Colorado will be in any need to use one, but they have all 3 timeouts remaining. Western Colorado's gone 31 yards on 4 plays in this drive. 25-yard pass completion to Allen, the big play in the drive. Nash is now 18 of 26 for 243 yards. Longino's thrown 40 times for Midwestern State, completing 50% of his passes for 222 yards. Nash has completed passes to 9 different receivers. Meisner with 6 receptions on 7 targets. Meisner's in a slot on the left side on 3rd and 8 at the Midwestern State 16-yard line. 6:37 to play. Western Colorado leads 35-7. Nash is back to pass. Feels pressure, rolls right, throws as he's hit. There's a flag in the backfield. The pass at the goal line is incomplete. Nash was wrapped up by Vega as he delivered the pass. A holding call on Western Colorado. That penalty will be declined. 4th down and 8 coming up for the Mountaineers. They're 0 for 1 on 4th down, and it looks like they're going to bring the field goal unit onto the field. That is the case. Tassi comes into the game for Western Colorado. Tassi will be attempting a 33-yard field goal. Tassi made his only field goal against West Texas. He's 1 of 1 this season. That was a 29-yard field goal last week. This is 32 yards. It's an end-over-end kick that is center cut, right down the middle. 38-7, Mountaineers over Mustangs with 6:26 to play. This is Midwestern State football on FloCollege.
Media timeout.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series. Built Ford tough.
We hope to see you all back here in 2 weeks as the Midwestern State takes on Eastern New Mexico University for Family Weekend, Saturday, September 20th at Memorial Stadium. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Purchase your tickets today at MSUMustangs.com/tickets. Once again, Saturday, September 20th at 6 p.m. Your Mustangs hosting the Greyhounds of Eastern New Mexico, making the trip to Portales, New Mexico, up Highway 70. And if they're smart, they'll take the shortcut on that then 433 between Lockett to Oakland Union. I know it saves you about 10 minutes. Once again, Saturday, September 20th, 6 p.m. Your Mustangs hosting the Greyhounds of Eastern New Mexico University. Get your ticket today at MSUMustangs.com/tickets.
Western Colorado now leading Midwestern State 38-7 after a 6-play, 31-yard drive. Adam Tossi with a 33-yard field goal, getting the first fourth quarter points for Western Colorado. They led 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, led 21-0 at halftime, and led 35-0 at the end of the third quarter. Mustangs didn't get on the board until this fourth quarter. Now trailing 38-7. They'll get the football back, 6:26 to play. Western Colorado now with 367 yards of total offense. Nash 18-27 for 243 yards. Green at the goal line, receives the kick, gets to the 10, to the 15. Out to the right, got tackled after he crossed the boundary, which I thought was a penalty.
The 20-yard line brought out of bounds on the play by number 15.
It's going to come out
Leighton Sayers.
to the 19-yard line, to the 20-yard line where Green was tackled. No penalty flag thrown. 6:20 to play. Mustangs send 3 receivers to the left side of the formation. Carroll is to the boundary short side right. Pass to Carroll. A gain of 2 yards. Has his shoes tied together after he makes the catch. Brought down by Western Colorado's Blaze McGee, a 6'2 junior out of Henderson, Nevada. 2nd down and 8 for Midwestern State. Longino, quick pass left. Running room down the sideline, a first down for the Mustangs. As DeMonte Green gets to the 24-yard line. Green targeted for the 17th time tonight. He makes his 10th catch and picks up a first down for Midwestern State. That's 17 first downs for the Mustangs. Carroll catches another first down pass, and he's into Western Colorado territory. Makes the catch at the 45 and gets to the 40. Carroll in a crowd was pretty well covered.
First down, Mustangs to the Mountaineers 40.
1st and 10, Midwestern State. Still down 38-7 with 5:20 to play, but moving the ball now. A spin move gets the receiver, Carroll, inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line.
2nd down 5, Mustangs.
Carroll has been targeted 7 times tonight. Longino on a slant looks for Dunphy. Can't make the catch. Stretched out inside the 30. The ball's through his hands and hits the ground as he was covered by Kylan Wilson, a junior out of Aurora, Colorado. 3rd and 5 for Midwestern State. Mustangs just 4 of 14 on 3rd down tonight. Longino fires and completes the pass. That's Green again. Picking up a first down and down right at the first down marker. Stays on the ground for a bit of time and is wanting to come out of the game here. Green coming all the way across the field. Green has every reason to be exhausted. He's got, 12 catches tonight. 1st and 10, Longino pumps once, fires. Has a man wide open inside the 10-yard line. It's Lott, knocked down from behind before he can get across the goal line. Sharonhorst there defensively to keep Lott from getting into the end zone, but it's 1st and goal to go from the 1. Lott making his 3rd catch of the game. Pass right, incomplete. The intended receiver was Jamarian Carroll.
Pass incomplete.
Green still trying to catch his breath on the sideline. The training staff not really looking at him. He's got hands on hips. Just trying to regroup a little bit. Midwestern State making substitutions here. Looking at 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Landon Thomason comes into the game. He'll line up with 2 other receivers in a bunch triangle on the right side of the formation. The pass complete. It's Carroll who's in for the touchdown. Touchdown Midwestern State. Oh, the LED lights are on display now here at Memorial Stadium. It only looks like a power outage. It's intentional. What better way to celebrate a touchdown than by turning off the lights? Carroll hits the upright. I was just about to say, Carroll could probably kick this extra point in the dark. Maybe not. The missed extra point makes it 38-13. That's back-to-back weeks now. Carroll, where Joe Carlson has missed an extra point. You would think he'd be automatic on those extra points. You say he's a good kicker, but he's missed 2 now this season. That's enough, Joe. No more. Can't miss any more of those extra points. 38-13. Western Colorado's been in control since the 1st quarter. They led 21-0 at the end of the 1st period. They took advantage of some Midwestern State miscues. And Western Colorado had a 7-0 lead with 10:02 to play in the 1st quarter, and then at 8:36 they were up 14-0. They scored again late in the 1st quarter to make it 21-0. Since then, it's a 17-13 game. Unfortunately, that's not how you play. Everybody wants to focus on what happens at the end of a game, whether it's football or basketball or baseball, but sometimes games are decided early, and that was kind of the case tonight as Western Colorado jumped out to that early lead, probably more than Midwestern State can overcome. Still 3:58 to play. This is going to be an onside kick. That's not going 10 yards.
Onside kick attempt out of bounds.
Carlson going left with that onside kick.
Mountaineers take over.
So the penalty will be assessed as the kick went out of bounds. And that's going to put the football at the Midwestern State 38-yard line, and Western Colorado would just like to drain the remaining 3:58 and head back to Gunnison with a 2-0 record, with wins over 2 Lone Star Conference opponents, and they continue to roll through LSC opposition. Nash is now out of the game. I suspect this will be a permanent substitution for the remainder of this game anyway. We saw Josiah Roy come in earlier, only to see Nash return to the game. Roy handing the football off here for a gain of 2, bringing up 2nd down and 8. Seeing a lot of fresh faces into the game now for Western Colorado. Luke Riders is in as a wide receiver. You see her buried to the left side of the formation. Roy out of the shotgun. Has a running back to his right. He gives to Bowers, who gets hit hard at the line of scrimmage and then surges forward, getting inside the 35-yard line of Midwestern State. From there, it's going to be 3rd down and about 6 needed. Tyleek Bowers, a 6', 170-pound sophomore out of Aurora, Colorado, on the carry. Clock running, still 15 seconds on the play clock, 2:40 to play. Midwestern State has used all their timeouts. They're trailing 38-13. 2 receivers to the wide side, 1 to the boundary short side right. Bowers out of the backfield goes motion left. Roy throws that way, and Bowers is going to sprint up the left sideline and pick up 1st down yardage as he gets close to the Midwestern State 25-yard line.
Pass completion number 27, Tyleek Bowers. Enough for a Mountaineers first
So
down.
the football placed down at the 26 on the left hash mark. It's another 1st down for Western Colorado. They've now got 15 first downs in this game. The 2-minute timeout at Memorial Stadium, and somewhat depressing home opener for Midwestern State. They're trailing Western Colorado 38-13 on FloCollege. This will be the 8th consecutive win over a Lone Star Conference opponent for Western Colorado, and the Mountaineers will be 18-4 in their last 22 road games. Midwestern State will now be 9-10 in their last 19 here at Memorial Stadium. There was a time when Midwestern State was just about unbeatable here, and particularly unbeatable in the month of September here at Memorial Stadium. But they have been waylaid by Western Colorado tonight, trailing 38-13, and the Mountaineers have the football at the Midwestern State 26-yard line and have gone to victory formation. 1st and 10. Western Colorado takes a knee, and they have brought in a 3rd-string quarterback to take the snaps here to wind down the game. Their victory formation specialist, Cole Kerr, is out there. Milling around, still 17 seconds on the play clock, 1:30 remaining in the game. Impressive performance by Western Colorado. We'll see what they do in the RMAC this year. They went to the 2nd round of the playoffs last year, barely beaten by Bemidji State.
2 yards and 2 touchdowns. Through the air, number 3, Devontae Green, 11 receptions.
377 yards of total offense for Western Colorado. Subtracting a little bit from that here with the victory formation. They have beaten Midwestern State tonight 38-13. We're just winding down the final 55 seconds. in a game that's taken just about 3 hours and 13 minutes to play. Part of that is Longino threw the ball 49 times tonight for Midwestern State. Completed 27 of those passes for 302 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Meanwhile, Nash was 18 of 27 for 243 yards. Fairly balanced attack for Western Colorado, but more yards through the air. They threw for 251 yards tonight. And it's all over. The two teams meeting at midfield to shake hands. Western Colorado rushing for 122 yards tonight on 40 carries. Nash completing passes to 10 different receivers. His favorite targets were Meisner and Ruiz. Allen also targeted 5 times. He and Ruiz each targeted 5 times, and Meisner was targeted 7 times, made 6 catches for 66 yards. Meisner, Ruiz, and Getze caught touchdown passes. Getze had 2 receptions for 44 yards, including a touchdown. Jones was their leading rusher with 56 yards on 16 carries. Schubarth had 26 yards on 6 carries. For Midwestern State, Longino, we mentioned 27 of 49 for 302 yards. Mustangs only rushed for -9 yards tonight. Coulter had 19 yards, and Elijah had 13. Remember, sacks count on the rushing total, so Longino 11 carries -12. McCoy 6 carries for -16 yards. Elijah was arguably the most effective back tonight, averaging more than 4 yards a carry, but Midwestern State, no running game tonight, 302 yards passing, 293 total yards. I know one of the things Rich Ritter wanted to see this year as compared to last was fewer penalties, and he saw that tonight. Midwestern State was only penalized twice for 10 yards, and I think those were both false start penalties. Western Colorado played a pretty clean game as well. They only had 26 yards in penalties. The flag was thrown 6 times. Midwestern State actually had more first downs than Western. Now, keep in mind, Western Colorado was playing on a short field in that first quarter when they jumped out to a 21-0 lead, taking advantage of a blocked punt and a poor snap on a punt. There was a 13-yard loss as they took over at the 5-yard line. They scored on their first couple of drives, taking advantage of those special teams miscues by Midwestern State, which was only able to convert 5 of 15 times on 3rd down, while Western Colorado was 9 of 17 on 3rd down. Then Western 0 for 3 on 4th down tonight. Western Colorado failed on their only 4th down attempt. Midwestern State ran 8 more plays than Western Colorado tonight. Western had 68 plays. They averaged 5.5 yards per play, and they held the ball for almost 34.5 minutes. Midwestern State had the ball for a little bit more than 25.5 minutes. Mustangs running 76 plays, averaging less than 4 yards a play. Each team had 1 turnover in the game tonight. A big part of the game tonight was the 6 sacks recorded by the Western Colorado defense and the 12 tackles for loss. Midwestern State had 1 sack and 1 tackle for loss tonight. So, too many negative plays tonight for Midwestern State. That's the game in a nutshell. And they suffer a 38-13 loss in their home opener, but it's non-conference. They're 0-2. They lose last week at Missouri Southern. They appear to have fixed some of the problems that plagued them against the Lions last week, but some different problems emerged tonight against Western Colorado. And there were long stretches of this game where Midwestern State played with Western Colorado. But you can't spot a team like the Mountaineers, who came in ranked 7th in Division II. You can't spot them a 21-point lead in the first quarter After that, Midwestern State's fairly competitive. They're outscored 17-13 after that. Neither team scoring in the second quarter. Western Colorado getting 2 third-quarter touchdowns. Midwestern State getting 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. A field goal tacked on by Western Colorado in the fourth quarter. And they win at 38-13, and they outgained Midwestern State 373 yards to 293. And they certainly were deserving winners as they leave Wichita Falls and head back home to Gunnison. Midwestern State will take next week off, and they will open up conference play against Eastern New Mexico here in 2 weeks. That'll be the family night game here for Midwestern State, and that game will kick off at 6 o'clock here at Memorial Stadium. Western Colorado, which was 11-2 last year and unbeaten on the road last year, they went 5-0 on the road. They start out 1-0 on the road this year and will be on the road in 2 weeks when they play in the Colorado Classic as they take on Adams State at Rec Stadium in Alamosa. That'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff in Colorado. So the Grizzlies are the next opponent coming up for Western Colorado, and Western is just 7-15 in that all-time series, but they beat Adams State last year 38-0. And Western Colorado has won the last 4 meetings in that series with the Grizzlies. So that's what's coming up for Western Colorado as they enter RMAC play. Midwestern State hoping to be competitive in the Lone Star Conference. They do their 24 push-ups at the end as they remember Robert Gray and stay 24 strong. They'll try to take advantage of this off week, get ready for Eastern New Mexico, and try to be strong in the LSC. But they lose their first 2 games of the season, non-conference affairs, and lose their home opener tonight to Western Colorado. The final, Midwestern State falling to the Mountaineers 38-13. We hope to visit with Rich Renner on the postgame show. Stay with us. Our coverage continues with the postgame show on FloCollege. Peach time back with you at Memorial Stadium as we hope to visit with Rich Renner on the postgame show here at Memorial Stadium in the Mustangs home opener. They are whipped by Western Colorado, 38-13, the final score. Western Colorado jumping out to a 21-0 lead in this game. Taking a look at what else is happening around Midwestern State, the Midwestern State volleyball team off to a great start. They beat Southeastern Oklahoma on Thursday night in straight sets, and then they handled William Jewell in straight sets. They needed 4 sets today to knock off Newman. But Midwestern State winning all 3 matches in the Midwestern State Invitational, now headed to the Tiger Classic. They'll be in Hays, Kansas to play Augustana, Fort Hays State, and Bethel. That'll lead up to the Lone Star Challenge in Kingsville. And then conference play will begin at D.L. Ligon Coliseum on Friday, September 26th, with Western New Mexico visiting the Midwestern State Mustangs. And then that following day, Sul Ross State will be here to take on Midwestern State. Midwestern State soccer in action tomorrow, both the men and women. The men coming off a 1-1 draw against Colorado Mesa at Community Hospital Unity Field in Grand Junction. They'll be right back there tomorrow to take on Westminster. That's an 11 o'clock kick tomorrow in Grand Junction. And then the boys will be home at Stang Park on September 11th. That's a Thursday night, a 6 o'clock kickoff at Stang Park to say hello, Newman. The Jets will be here. The Newman Jets will face Midwestern State. And then there's a couple of more non-conference games at Stang Park before the Midwestern State Mustangs take on Southern Nazarene and then go to Frisco to take on Northwest Nazarene in Western Oregon. Conference play doesn't start until October 1st when St. Edwards visits Stang Park. But pretty nice homestand coming up. 3 games for Midwestern State against Newman on the 11th, Northeastern State on the 13th, and then St. Mary's, that is the Rattlers out of San Antonio, a member of the LSC, will be here for a non-conference game. That'll be a 7 o'clock Wednesday night game. That should be a great atmosphere at Stang Park, so looking forward to seeing the Midwestern State men at home. It's going to be a while before we see the Midwestern State women at Stang Park. They're playing their first 4 on the road, including their conference opener against Texas A&M International on September 17th. They'll play Ouachita Baptist tomorrow. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff at Cluck Field in Arkadelphia. I'll look for any excuse to say Cluck Field in Arkadelphia with Ouachita Baptist awaiting a Midwestern State team that's going to be in a bad mood after seeing a 2-0 lead disappear in Bethany, Oklahoma on Thursday night. Southern Nazarene scoring twice in the final 18 minutes to get a 2-2 draw against the Mustangs. Central Oklahoma hosting Midwestern State on Thursday night, September 11th. Then the game against the Dust Devils that we mentioned. The ladies are not home until they play at Stang Park Saturday afternoon, September 20th against LSC newcomer UT Dallas. And that'll be our first chance to see the Comets as a member of the Lone Star Conference in any sport in Wichita Falls. So we want to have a big welcoming committee there for UT Dallas when they arrive here in Wichita Falls, but not until the 20th. So a lot of road games to start the season. Bryant Spence quick to point out it'll be different next year. Next year it'll be just the opposite. The schedule will be stacked with a lot of home games at the beginning of the year. I also want to mention the Midwestern State cross-country program. They were in the Aggie Duels and finished 3rd out of 10 schools Friday morning, and they'll be hosting the Mustang Derby Thursday. They'll be at Lake Wichita Park, and the meet will get underway at 8 a.m., and they would appreciate any support they could get out there. And then in Stillwater, Oklahoma, at the Oklahoma State Cowboy Jamboree. They'll also be at the DBU Old Glory Gallop before the LSC Championship on October 25th. So that's what the schedule looks like for cross country. Rich Renner doesn't have to make a cross country trip to make it up to the press box, but Does have to get through a lot of traffic and climb a bunch of stairs. We'll see if Rich will join us for a post-game show. His team beaten tonight, 38-13. Western Colorado wins it. We'll come back. Well, actually, let's just keep it here because Coach Renner has arrived. And Rich Renner is here for the post-game show. Coach, thanks for coming up. I know it's a chore to climb those stairs and get up here. 38-13, the final. Your team just got in too big a hole too early, 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. After that, you kind of play even with Western Colorado, but the first quarter counts.
Yeah, sir. Again, that's on me as head coach. Obviously, the first punt, we were trying to run a fake, or not try to run a fake, but we thought we could have a run a fake, and we didn't. We didn't block the guy on the outside, and obviously he came free to block it. And so that was just a miscommunication. Number two, we had a dribbled snap.
A low snap.
Low snap that got bobbled. And then obviously Joe got tackled there and gave 2 short fields to him to 2 easy touchdowns. Like you said, we put ourselves in a hole, and we're not good enough to do that and rebound. But I was proud of our kids for rebounding after being down 21-0 in the first quarter and really fighting and competing there. I thought the defense made some good stops, and we started getting off the field on 3rd and out. So I give credit to the defensive coaches, Coach Frazier and Coach Leonard and Coach Logan and Whitaker and obviously Coach Kearney. But, we had some mess-ups there with the safeties on those wide-open guys that were in zero coverage and one man free. And when you do your own thing and you're not disciplined enough, then that's what happens. And so, again, just trying to teach these young men the right way and, to have some discipline and understand the little things do matter. And we've got to get better at that, And so, unfortunately, our special teams was not very good. Poor Joe struggled, with the missed extra point. And I think it's just, again, it's in his mechanics and in his foot placement. But, we'll get that corrected this week as well and for next week.
It was kind of a mixed bag on special teams because you had a big punt return by Lott, and Joe had a 66-yard punt for you there at the end of the half, which kind of kept Western Colorado at bay.
It did, you know what I mean? And so, yep, he did. I mean, he had a couple good ones, but we were – bless his heart, he's supposed to be kicking it to the numbers to the sideline, and he's kicking in the middle of the field and all over the place, and we don't know where it's going. And so even though he's got a strong leg, he's just, it's just all over the place. And, we'll get that corrected. Bless his heart. He's trying, and he's trying to do everything for us that we can. And so I'm just thankful to have him. But, I'm just thankful and love these kids. We had two guys get hurt, so I got to check on them, Cameron Griffin and Broadus, Jalen Broadus, that, are 2 important contributors to our team. And I hope they're going to be okay, and I definitely pray for them and quick healing to get back on the field.
You don't like to analyze from 200 feet in the air, but taken out in an ambulance, it looked like a possible season-ending injury.
It possibly could be. I don't know. I'm not a doctor to comment on it, but I was just glad he was okay. It's obviously something that can be fixed, and I'm just, thankful for our medical staff, Gary Deem, and our training staff, as well as Dr. Dozier that was here on the sidelines at every home game that supports us and make sure that our kids are safe, and the ambulance that obviously was able to take him and get some x-rays and get it looked at.
That was Cameron Griffin who was taken off the field, and then everybody kind of held their breath when Broadus was down, but very happy to see him sit up and then walk off under his own power.
Most definitely, and we've had that kind of that same rough area right there. We've
same
had that
part of the
experience.
field.
Yes, sir. And so, it was scary, but I was just so glad and thankful that he was okay and able to walk and actually wanted to go back in. I said, son, this football game isn't worth your life. And so, I obviously held him out and didn't let him go back in, took his helmet away. And so we'll reevaluate him and go through the protocol that we need to go through. And Gary has an unbelievable protocol for that and head injuries and what have you. And so we will get him healthy again.
It looked like you made some improvements from last week in stopping the running game. It looked like you did a much better job, at least containing the run.
That was the big thing. Like I told you, Pete, last week, we got to stop the run. And I don't know what the stats were, and I really don't care. But, the bottom line was, you always got to stop the run on defense. You can't win a ball game just letting them run all over you and making them two-dimensional. You've got to make them one-dimensional. And so I felt like that our kids did a better job tackling, better job of, like you said, stopping the run, better job of being in their assignments. The 2 times we didn't get our assignments, obviously they scored touchdowns. And earlier in the game, they were making those correct calls and decisions, and so we were able to stop them. And again, that goes back to the discipline part of it. That goes back to not doing your own thing and assuming that you want to do this or do that. And so again, always preaching to these young men that this is like life. You've got to continue to do things the right way, not your way. And we all have to be on the same page, and that's no different in a marriage when they get married or at a business. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to be unified as one. And so we're getting there, when you've got so many new guys and new faces and trying to explain to them and understanding the whys. It's tough. And, and against a good team like this, well-coached team.
7th-ranked team in the nation.
7th-ranked team in the nation, which, again, they're very talented, and –
they look good getting off the bus too. That's a good looking football team.
They are, and so my point in saying that is that they, are going to expose you. They're going to expose you when you make mistakes like that, and so they capitalized and we didn't. I was glad that we scored 2 touchdowns there at the end. But again, I was hoping that, we on 4th down, down to the goal line when it's 21-0, we got a chance to kind of flip the momentum a little bit, and we fumbled the speed options wide open. Great call by Coach Bryant.
That's probably a touchdown if it's handled cleanly.
That's exactly right. And so again, we make mistakes as coaches as well, in a sense of, getting the right personnel in the game, and we made a mistake there.
And then you got the interception after that, and still, after all that time in the red zone, Presley got that interception for you, and you still couldn't capitalize, and it was 21-0 at halftime.
Most definitely. And then we also had one that dropped interception that on 2 plays later they score a touchdown because we don't cover the right guy. And so, we had our chances, you know what I mean? In the defense, like I told you, really stepped up. I was proud of them for stepping up after the first quarter, but we've got to be better holding them to field goals down there in the red zone.
I do want to ask you about the offense because you threw the ball effectively, but you end up in negative yards running the football. Mm-hmm. What happened to the ground game tonight?
Well, I think the D-line up front was an overmatch for our offensive line. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, anybody that was here watching it, we had a hard time blocking their guys. We weren't physical at the point of attack and strong enough there at the point of attack to handle those guys, and they did a great job of getting off and using their strength, and we've got to do a better job of staying low and being more physical at the point of attack. And so I know Coach Preston will definitely get after those guys and work with those guys to continue to get stronger. And I know Coach Adams does a great job in the weight room with those guys as well to get stronger. And so it just takes time. And again, we don't have a lot of time. We're already 0-2 in the season, and we've got to get a W. And
well, these are all non-conference games, though, so you get kind of a fresh start in 2 weeks when you take on Eastern New Mexico.
That's true. But we still got to have that winning. Losing's a habit, winning's a habit, and so we've got to get the habit of winning for sure.
Well, Eastern New Mexico's not in that habit yet. They lost to Colorado Mesa 28-7. Your thoughts about the Greyhounds coming here in 2 weeks?
Well, the Greyhounds are always a challenge. They're a great, well-coached team as well. Coach Lee does a great job. Kelly Lee of getting that team ready to go, and the triple option that they run is amazing. I know that they have more of a throwing quarterback than a running quarterback this year, but I know they're going to be ready, and they always play us tough. They always get up for our game regardless of what the records are. And so, we've got to strap it up and be physical. We've got to be ready for the cut block. We've got to be ready for, getting hit in the mouth like we did tonight. And we've got to be ready for the triple option.
Having 2 weeks to prepare helps, though, doesn't it?
Makes a huge difference. Yes, it does. It does make a difference in helping to prepare for that. But, again, I'm proud of these kids. I love these kids to death. And, I just want to see them succeed. And I think that's the hardest part as a head coach, is that you want it more for them than maybe they want it for themselves sometimes, but nevertheless you want it for them. And so, I just hate to see them hurt, hate to see them, all the hard work and dedication they put in and, not being able to get, something out of it as a W. And so we're just going to keep going back to the drawing board, and we're going to keep chopping wood and continue to work and just work harder and harder and harder. And eventually God's going to bless us. But I'm very blessed to, obviously lead this university, Midwestern Mustangs, and obviously very blessed to lead these young men. And so just very thankful and honored.
We'll talk more in our podcast coming up, but thanks for coming up for the postgame show. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Pete, and go Mustangs.
That's Rich Renner, the head football coach at Midwestern State. Mustangs fall tonight. 38-13 the final after falling behind 21-0 in the first quarter after those special teams miscues that Coach Renner talked about. We'll be back with you for Midwestern State football from Memorial Stadium in 2 weeks at the 6 o'clock kick when the Greyhounds are here to face the Mustangs. Thanks to all of you who have been with us. Special thanks to those of you who have been with us all day long, checking out some of the Midwestern State Invitational at volleyball, and then joining us for tonight's football game. It wasn't a happy ending for Midwestern State, but maybe we can flip the script in 2 weeks when Eastern New Mexico visits. I'm Pete Stein saying so long from Wichita Falls.